stream. It is Trivia Monday. If you guys are returning supporters, shout out to you guys. Really do appreciate your continued support. If you're a new viewer here, remember to like the video, consider subscribing, and turning on your post notifications. So Trivia Monday, I believe it is still Women's History Month for the month of March. So we will get started with some trivia questions related to women's history, right? So, I'd love to know, what did you guys do today? It is Monday here in New York. I did go outside on Monday, and it was, hey, Cam, you've been serving the looks lately, Mia. Thank you, Cam. Really do appreciate your kind words, styled by Queen Mother, as always. How are you doing today? Today, we went to the dentist. Hello, and you're so glad you could be on the stream. How's everything going with you today? So we went to the dentist. Good news, guys. Uniquely Mia has no cavities. I knew there was no way I had cavities, right? I told you guys I had cavities like 2 or 3 years ago, and the dentist low-key traumatized me because they changed the shape of my teeth. So since then, I've been definitely paying attention to my teeth health. And we learned some interesting stuff, guys. You can get cavities from anything. It's not just candy, right? So anytime you eat pasta, bread, carbohydrates, something sweet, immediately after, y'all should drink some water to like rinse it out, the technician said. So that's good. You guys should also be flossing. I got like a dentist goodie bag. I'm doing good today in your soul. How are you doing today? So in the dentist goodie bag came with a toothbrush. They always give no-name toothbrush though. I'm like, this is a dentist. That's where they should be giving like the really good fancy toothbrush, right? But they always give the no-name ones. Then they give a tongue scraper. I've always wanted one of these, but I've never bought one. I'm not hungry.
I'm not ready neither.
Thank you.
What's that?
I want to eat my Queen Mother cooked. And then we got some floss. In addition to that, they also gave some toothpaste. So this is what the dentist gave me today, which is pretty cool stuff for sure. And then Queen Mother cooked some food. Your nose is... Hey, man down. Are you guys okay? What are we saying? Your nose is still running in yourself. Vicks, make sure it's not the flu, right? If it's the flu, make sure you get treated within 48 hours. Otherwise, the medicine will not work. So before we jump into Trivia Monday, we're going to be doing an Eat With Me. My mom made black eye cook-up with chicken. What makes it black eye cook-up? The black eyed peas cooked up in the rice and adding the meat to it. So, okay, you hate it. Hey, how you doing, Himple? Glad you could be here. So let's taste it, guys. My mom used to make this a lot when I was younger. Normally, in South American culture, on the last day of the year, like December 31st, you cook black eye cook-up, black eyed peas with rice, and you leave it in the fridge. I think my mom and grandmother said it's supposed to make sure you have money throughout the whole year. It's very hot, but it is very good. The rice is nice and soft. The beans have still like a little bite to it. The chicken, let's taste with the chicken. What'd y'all eat today? What'd y'all do? It looks delicious. It tastes pretty good. Not that hungry, but it tastes good.
Delicious.
The chicken's good. It's a little soft, but it's good. I like the rice and peas better than I do chicken. You're hungry now? It's hot. My apologies, Himple. I always need to remember to put the disclaimer that if you subscribe or watch Uniquely Mia video or live stream, I may make y'all hungry because we eat a lot, guys. But definitely go and get something to eat for sure. I would say try and replicate this. You can replicate this, but we didn't release Queen Mother's video recipe on how to make this. So there's a lot of like... Oh, my mom has videos, so she'll give me her videos and I'll edit it so you guys can try and replicate it, the meal.
Thank you. You're welcome. That's chicken, black eye cook-up with chicken.
Ramen.
Delicious, like ramen.
Ramen is good. What type of ramen did you have, Himple? You know what ramen I like? I like the spicy ramen, the Buldak spicy ramen. I will admit I had to stop eating that because I heard that it gives you cancer. The Buldak spicy ramen. Ramens, I don't eat that anymore.
Nah, this is good.
That sounds good, Himple.
Gravy.
I've never had ham, but that sounds really good. Guys, Himple said they're making a grilled ham and cheese. It's almost like a grilled cheese, but with meat in it, protein. Sounds good. Okay, you get the regular ramen, yeah. I used to like the regular ramen a lot, but then when I was an undergraduate student, I literally ate that for like a month straight. And now I can't eat the regular ramen anymore. But prior to me eating it for like a month straight, it was really good.
Oh. Yeah, I just sent you.
Each bite is nice and hot. And look at the tenderism. The chicken came off the bone, guys. Where's that trend? I don't want to throw my glasses, but there's a trend. People will pick up the meat, and when it falls off the bone, they throw their glasses, like the tenderism of it. But yeah, my mom cooked that chicken till it's nice and soft. What's the awards on the wall? Glad you were able to notice this. So they are, this is my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology and Professional Writing. This right here is my Master's of Science in Criminal Justice. And that right there is my Master's of Science in Public Administration. So these are my degrees that I worked for in an academic institution. So I'm uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. I have a bachelor's degree, as I said, and I also have 2 master's degrees. So I like it. After it was hung up, I was like, I look like those people on the news. You know when people go on the news and they have all the degrees behind them? I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool right there. So that's what the awards are. So anytime I stream from the Uniquely Mia studio, you guys will see them.
Delicious.
You want some more?
Yeah, I might want some more to go. Not too much.
Yeah, I'm definitely into the science, more so for the humanitarian side of it and the researcher side of science, right? I'm not science in terms of biology and physics. I'm science in terms. So yeah, that's the science that I'm in for research studies and research experiments and etc. And if you guys want to learn about anything that like I learned about in school, I like to share the knowledge. So I shared a little bit, and you can find that information by going to my YouTube homepage, clicking playlist, and watching my education playlist videos.
Cooked up in coconut milk with rice.
Congratulations. Thank you, 4717. Really appreciate it. Hey, Legal, how are you doing today? Okay, I see you. Congratulations. I hope you're proud of yourself. 100% I'm proud of myself. Worked for it, right? So now they're mine, and nobody can ever take my degrees away from me. Oh, yep.
Probably a piece of pepper.
You love science too? Okay, very nice, very nice. Yeah, nothing experiments are fun. They can be fun, but they're very lengthy, and they can be very difficult sometimes. You're a small YouTuber? Okay, very awesome. Shout out to you. Yeah, you're not small. You're beginning. And if you would like me to subscribe to you, subscribe to me first. And then write your YouTube username in the chat. And I'll be more than happy to support you and subscribe to you. What type of content do you post on social media? As my mom said, Queen Mother said, we all have a beginning, guys. And on this channel, yup, and on this channel, the type of content that you can expect to see from Uniquely Mia is fashion videos, education videos, travel videos, nail videos, hair videos, shopping videos, food videos, live streams, and a lot more. At its core, I'm motivating y'all to be your positive and unique self. Alrighty, so you subscribe to me, so I'll go ahead and subscribe to you. I do have 2 phones out. So I can subscribe to you directly on the stream. I think I can. Let me see. But what'd you guys eat today? What'd you do? I know Himple said they had ramen.
I do.
Yeah.
And then they plan on eating
Like the food so much
a ham and cheese sandwich.
Because I use fresh black-eyed peas, no can.
Okay, so go to your channel,
So
and I'm going to subscribe to you. So I'm going to subscribe to you.
But when you use
This is delicious.
And just hit that subscribe button.
Taste, texture to it.
All right, I'm going to go spread more love to other streams with low amount of views. All right, Himple, shout out to you. Love to see the positivity and the joy that you are spreading. Hopefully I see you in the next live stream or the comment section of my fully traditional YouTube video or YouTube shorts. Himple, have a great rest of your day. Ooh, you went to a new aquarium? That's really fun. I like aquariums. Aquariums are fun. I remember one time my mom took me to an aquarium, and literally we were walking, and the way they built it encapsulated us in a circle. Yeah, in the Georgia aquarium. So yeah, we saw like the sharks and the fishes on the left side, the right side. When we looked up, they were still on top of us. So now that I think about it, was it safe? Maybe not, because what if it broke? We would all be done for, right? But it was a fun thing that we did for sure. I ate the muscle of the chicken. But welcome, welcome everybody. Glad y'all could be here. It's Trivia Monday. But before we get started with the trivia questions, we're eating dinner together. Would love to know what you guys eat. What did you do today? What are your plans for the week? Snapple peach tea. Very good. Very delicious. 10 out of 10. I have an addiction to Snapple peach tea, I think, guys. I really like it. Okay, Himple said the aquarium they went to was in Florida, and they had a little room that was like that, but not a tunnel. You're describing? Okay. Okay, cool. I've never been to an aquarium in Florida, but that's pretty cool. It's, like, cool, but it's also sad at the same time because, like, now that I think about it, when I went to the Georgia Aquarium, guys, they had sharks, right? So they took the sharks from the ocean and they put them inside of a tube, right? It's kind of sad, right, now that we think about it. But it was cool to see. They did not have dolphins, I don't think. But people said that they're afraid of dolphins because they said dolphins are, like, extremely intelligent.
Georgia Aquarium didn't have dolphins?
I don't think so.
You forgot the show you saw?
Wasn't that sharks?
No, that was dolphin, the show.
Oh, oops.
When we stopped, and they were putting on the show with dolphins.
And that's why she's Queen Mother, guys. So, yeah, apparently I have seen dolphins before. But people said, like researchers, they said dolphins are smarter than humans. So they said they're scared of dolphins. Because, like, if you're smarter than a human, like, you're really smart, right? And you're a fish. You're an animal.
But they didn't figure out how to walk on land.
Yeah. Well, it's not figuring out. It's just their body, right? And people said sometimes in the Bible that dolphins existed then. Like, people said, like, even the whole ocean. People said they're scared of the ocean because, like, you don't know what's underneath the ocean, and there's not a lot of exploration in the ocean, right? So, and like, in the Bible, God destroyed the world with water. So that means all the bad things went in the water. Are they really gone, or are they just living in the water now, right? I like conspiracy theories sometimes. Himple said, I also got to see a really cool sunset yesterday, okay, at Siesta Keys. I've heard that. That's near Disney World, right? And there was, like, a huge sandcastle someone made. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sounds like you had an awesome time yesterday, Himple. Sounds very fun. I've never been to Siesta Keys, I don't think. I could have been there, but I just didn't know the name of the area. But it sounds familiar. I think it's near Disney World. And I did go to Disney World one time. That's fun. But Universal Studios is is better to me. I think just because they had the Harry Potter lore. But I like the rides that they have at Universal. Because, you know, like, when you go, if you've ever been to, like, Six Flags or Coney Island, you know how, like, the roller coasters are not accessible for all individuals? Because my mom can never go on a roller coaster. Because, like, she is just not her thing. I ate a bubble nut. However, when you go to, like, Universal Studios, the rides are, like, 3D rides in a way. That's the best way I can describe it. So anyone can go on it. Hey, how you doing? Daddy could be here, Ema. House fried rice? No, this is not Chinese food. Queen Mother made this. So this is black-eyed peas with chicken and rice. It's called cook-up rice with chicken. So that's what I'm eating.
Chicken cook-up, that's what I'm saying.
I have not made my way over to Sydney, Australia as of yet. So one day for sure, we will be reporting live from Sydney, Australia. So I need you to subscribe with your post notifications on. So when I finally drop the live stream and or a YouTube short saying, hey guys, I'm in your country. What are we going to do here? What are we going to eat? Y'all can let me know, alrighty? But what's like in Sydney, Australia? Yeah, I heard it's winter time for y'all now. You have opposite seasons to America. So now that America's entering summer, even though it doesn't even feel like that, apparently it's winter for y'all. Okay. Hey, Gigi Cat, also known as Cats and Pokemon. How are you doing today? Hi, Mia. You look like a beautiful Caribbean woman. Well, I guess Queen Mother knows her wardrobe for sure. Thank you, Cats. How are you doing today? Hey, Fern. It's been a while since you've been on a stream. Glad you could be here. How's everything going with you? Himple said, so Siesta Keys is in, okay, Sarasota. But you're right. I'm only like an hour or two from Disney. Okay, very cool, very cool. So like, do you go to Disney like every other weekend? I would imagine. I feel like if we lived like an hour or two from Disney, because I've heard like how much is a Disney ticket, right? Because I've heard people like residents of Florida, you get the tickets discounted. It's not, you don't pay the general admission. Is that true? That's what I've heard. And like, if you live that close, like, why not just go there every other weekend? Oh, that is true. But Coney Island's boring. I mean, Coney Island's fun, but like the ride, it's not like Disney.
The amusement
It was
parks.
different.
The amusement parks are fun if you have company. If you go by yourself, it's fun. But if you have like a group of friends, Coney Island used to be fun because I used to go there as a teenager. We did the beach. Never had enough money to buy snacks.
Oh.
You finished with your bowl, Ron?
Himple said, all right, for real, this time I'm going to go spread more love. Alrighty, Himple. Thank you so much for your questions and engagement. It was definitely enjoyable. I hope to learn more about your adventures in Magic Kingdom and etc. in another live stream or the comment section of my full interest on YouTube or YouTube short. Have a great rest of your day. Hey, Future Clean, is crumping dead? What in the world is crumping? I've never heard of that a day in my life. Fern said, you look beautiful today. Well, like always, thank you so much for your kind words, Fern. Really appreciate it. How's everything going with you? What'd you guys eat today? Okay, thank you, Gigi Cat. You are the perfect person to ask too, and Cam, because y'all lived in Florida. So, okay, so Florida residents get a discount for Disney and Is it for Universal as well, or is it just for Disney Studios? What's your discount? Like, how much would y'all pay for a ticket? Hey, let's see if Siri knows. Hey, Siri. How much do Florida residents pay for a Disney ticket?
The cost of a Disney ticket for Florida residents varies depending on the park and the season.
That ain't that cheap. $109. I thought it would be like $20 for y'all. That's crazy. That's a lot of money. So you are not there every other weekend. Okay, then. That hat yesterday was crazy. What hat did I wear yesterday? I don't remember the hat that I wore yesterday, guys. What hat did I wear yesterday? I don't know. I have to take your word for it. I don't know. It was unique. Let's not say crazy. Oh, I'll tell my mom you said hi when she comes back, Fern. Cam said, I don't even know if we get a real discount because I clicked that I was from Florida for Epic Universe and it was $174. Wow, that's low key. That's really expensive for a ticket. Wow. Okay. So you're right with that one, Cam. Like $174. What are they charging regular non-Florida residents? Kat said, well, I never paid for Disney admission thanks to my mom. Yeah, so yeah, valid, honestly. Oh, thank you, GTK. Yeah, the Halloween hat. I did like the Halloween hat. Yeah, it was definitely in your face. This is what we're doing with today's style, right? But it was a cool hat. I think. It was a pretty cool hat. So I'm full now. Let's get one more spoon or a fork full of food. Okay, now I'm really stuffed. I wasn't even that hungry prior to eating, but now I'm really stuffed, guys. Don't worry, I did email Snapple, guys. We finally sent the email to them. So we shall wait and hear back from them. Okay. Cam said it varies. Okay. Okay, so Tuesday and Thursday is 134, and Friday to Monday 174. So what I'm hearing is if I go to Universal Studios or Disney, I need to go on a Tuesday to Thursday. Alrighty. I guess it makes sense kind of because I didn't think Monday would be like a, what is it? A hotspot day for people, right? But I guess for the 3-day weekends, that's why. So they're overcharging people during like days off, right? Excuse me. I wonder if in the summertime, in the summer, do you know, does the price like increase all days, like every day in the summer, or do they still adhere to that schedule? Do you know? Cam said, I want to go to the new Epic Universe for my birthday in September. Okay, since my brother will be moving there. Okay, lodge will be free. Okay, yeah, smart. But I don't know if I want to pay 174, but I really want to visit Harry Potter. It's your birthday, Cam. Treat yourself. Or you could be like, hey, look at your family members and be like, who want to get me a gift for my birthday? $174 for a ticket. And bam, you get to go there and not pay for the admission ticket. Oh yeah, I do remember you mentioned you have a wand. Yeah, that's really cool that you have a Harry Potter wand. I've always wanted one, but like sometimes I look at it. Do you think it's actually worth it though? Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, that's a cool wand, but like I would buy it and it's like a piece of stick, and I would just have it in my room as decorations. But whose wand do you have, Cam? Like which character? And that's another thing too. Like which character would I get? Right? I don't know. I would just go for the character that has the prettiest wand. So. All right, what are we doing? Trivia Monday. It's Monday, so we're doing trivia. Hey, how are you doing? Glad you could be here, Generic. How's everything going with you? Kat said, yeah, the Florida resident discount is really only for off season. Okay. Because we're already in Florida. Okay, that makes sense. All right, well, at least you guys get something at least you get something for it, right? That's the cool thing. So it is still Women's History Month, I believe, the month of March. So we will start off trivia with asking some Women's History Month trivia questions, themed questions. The camera's set up so weird. I don't like that I have to stretch to type. 1 second, guys. Move you guys over here. Okay, this is much more comfortable to do this. What are we saying? You have to know motion, girl. Stop. I have no idea what you mean, Boston. What in the world? What do you mean, Boston? Need some clarification, please. Alrighty, so let me log into YouTube. We can make a poll and let's get started with trivia. If you guys still want to ask me some questions, we can have a side conversation, right? In addition, so we can have a conversation related to anything in particular, right? While I ask the trivia questions, I just like to have this Trivia Monday because education is a foundational part of the Unique Lumia channel, right? So education can occur when I make a full instructional YouTube video, sharing the knowledge that I've learned in the classroom, right? Or it can be when we have these live stream discussions, or it can just be when you ask my opinion on something and I'm sharing said opinion. So bringing some consistency. I'm attempting to do that this year with the live streams. What's up? What's up? Glad you could be here, Shadow. How's everything going with you today? Glad you could be here. Welcome back to the live stream. Welcome to Trivia Monday. So, and as always, if there's any topics y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on in particular, feel free to type in the chat. Mom Fern said hello to you. She said hi. So the first trivia question is, which ancient civilization is most often credited with the earliest large-scale wine production? Do you think it's the Romans, the Egyptians, the Greeks, or the Persians? This is women's history. How in the world is this women's history? It got wine history. Google got wine history, not women. That's funny. Okay, so that's not women's history, but we'll just start off with it. We'll learn something about the history of that. All right. Cam said it's super interactive. Okay, all over. And it's fun finding the places to use it that you didn't find it before. You can also use it on one of the rides, but it's a secret. I'll leave up to you to find. Okay. So the wand is more so for universal in particular, for it to actually work with the magic. Okay, very cool. What are we doing? Glad you're doing good today, Shadow. Today we are doing Trivia Monday. So Cam said the Romans. Kat is thinking the Egyptians. Those are really some good guesses. So we're going to end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It is actually 25% of you guys. It is the Egyptians is credited for the world's earliest large-scale wine production. So we're actually going to go into women history. I don't know why Google. I guess I made a typo and Google made the assumption that it was wine I was asking about and not women. But we're going to go on some women history questions now.
Yeah, but I was doing even trade.
Okay, let's see. Let's do another one.
Look in the mirror.
I don't know how to say a person. We're gonna include people's names so I know to say it, okay? Let's see.
It don't matter.
Let's see. I spelled somebody's name wrong. Who name did I spell wrong? Oh no, I spelled somebody. Every name is spelled correctly. This question is going to see who paid attention in U.S. history class, or if you're from the U.S., or if you just did independent research. Which woman is known for leading the Underground Railroad? Do you think it's Harriet Tubman? Do you think it's Ida Wells? Or are we thinking it's Rosa Parks? Who are we thinking, guys?
Who saw the movie Sophia Oil? That's really good.
And my mom wants to know who saw the movie Sophia Oil.
Can't move it.
It's really good.
Okay. Oh, okay. Cam said they have Hermione's and your boyfriend has Draco's. Okay, cool. What's the design? I could Google it, honestly. Well, what's the design of your wand? Let me see. Hermione's wand. Let me see. I don't think her wand came up. Did it? Target sells wands? Oh, that's pretty. It has flowers on it a little bit, the grass. Okay, pretty. Hey Drake, glad you could be here. How's everything going with you? Welcome to the live stream. Drake said hello to you, Mom.
Hey, Drake.
And Stu, they're playing chess. Okay, Cam said A. Shadow said Tubman. Kat said Tubman. Okay, Drake said I don't want to get judged, but I'll say A. Okay, how would you get? Okay. Cam said it's brown. LO, I can't explain. I saw a picture. It was pretty. It had looks like leaves or flowers, like vines going around it. I feel like it's B. Cam said okay. Good guess. The underground movement. Okay. I know my head is blocking. I need to I can't show it. I need to type. Okay, I guess that's okay. I need to type a little bit. So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the poll. And 100% of you guys are correct. You get an A+. You paid attention in U.S. history class. Excuse me, gold star for y'all. So it was Harriet Tubman who led the Underground Railroad, guys. Alrighty?
What did you like about Harriet Tubman?
That she led. That's the monumental thing that she did.
Yeah, but remember, a lot of people told her she couldn't do it. Even with she used to have passing out spells. She, she endured a lot of stuff. She had a lot of obstacles that she could have used as a barrier to not doing the things that she did. Think about it. Her disability. She was disabled because she used to be passing out, right? She was married.
How you know? You know the movie was fictional, man. She's so fictional. Oh my god.
What happened?
Not in. Yeah, she was a okay. Yeah, she was a monumental individual, guys. Great. Shout out to Harriet Tubman, all the civil rights individual.
That they cannot accomplish things.
Okay, yeah, great. So, who wrote the novel Frankenstein? Do you think it was Jane Austen, Mary Shelley, Emily Bronte, or are we thinking it was Louisa May Alcott? Who do we think it is? Shadow said, I know because I was there. Okay, glad you survived. There's a roach on the wall. Oh, okay, hopefully it dies soon. Cam said, because wasn't there a lady who Tubman was helping? Don't know, don't recall at this current moment of time. Kat said, I've seen the trailer for Sour's Oil. Okay, it looked like a great movie, but
a good movie. Kat would enjoy it.
The trailer gave the whole movie away. I don't know what else to say. What else the movie would probably be.
11.
Who?
Sophie. What's the name of movie I told you?
I don't know.
So Lawrence, what's the movie? Sophia Oil.
Okay, I read that.
It's a great movie.
Why'd you switch up, Cam? Jake said, okay, I'm tripping. Okay, Boston said sure, so Lisa. Wait, what are you talking about, Boston? Cam said, because I feel like I watched a movie where they were showing a lady who was doing it first, then Tubman made it greater, but I was tripping. Who knows? You could have seen the movie, because that happened a lot, right? That happened a lot throughout, like, that era. They made the people who either fit into the standards of it, right? Like, look at Rosa Parks, right? She wasn't the first, but the NAACP did not support her. Okay, no, yeah, Rosa Parks wasn't the first to do what she did. It was I think it was, who was her name? Claudine, I think, or some Claudine. I think that's her first name. I know her initials are CC. She was the first individual to do that, right? But the end, yeah, to sit on the back of the bus, not no, to sit on in the front of the bus, right? But the NAACP did not support her because she had a kid, she was 16, and she was of darker skin, right? Of her image didn't fit, right? Thank you, thank you, Cam. Yes, Claudine, thank you so much, right? So that has happened throughout history historically, right? So Cam, you're probably right. There was somebody probably before Rosa Parks who did what she did, right? Right? But sorry, Rosa Parks who did what she did, right? But her story's not really told because maybe she didn't have as much of an impact that Harriet Tubman had, right? Because we know Harriet Tubman, right? Even though people said she was dark skinned, right? She freed a lot,
She did
right?
it above and beyond. They
Yeah,
couldn't ignore her.
she did it above and beyond to the point they could not ignore her, as my mom said, right? So, what happens when you look at history, sometimes Black history, they're not going to tell you everything. And it's not because they don't want to. It's just because it's not to say pick and choose, but you kind of have to pick and choose because they're just not letting it into mainstream. So they let the big stuff go, right? So, yeah.
Where's your mics?
I don't know, Mom.
They don't tell you everything because
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to bring up a certain group of people. Because if you look at the movie Sophia Oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on a true story. Sophia was a young girl that she had inherit land because her ancestors was enslaved, and she had faith in God that her land had oil on it, right? And in the end, she did discover the oil, and she became a billionaire. But what happened was when you speak to her descendants today, they said when you go to the museum and stuff, the image that's there, that's not their auntie, that's not Sophia. So they put a different person image around saying that this is the person. And why people do that is because they try to oppress a certain group of people. If you look a particular way and everybody's always telling you like, hey, you're ugly, you're this, or you're stupid, or you're dumb, and you have somebody that did great things that you could look to, you can say, well, that person looked like me and they did it.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure they swapped up the image too for maybe somebody lighter, right? So it all relates back to colorism and what is palatable, right? Because at the end of the day, it is a white country in America, and they're not just going to own up to what they did to enslave the individuals, right? So if they let our history be known, they're going to add some colorism in there. They're going to change up the story a little bit so they agree with it, right? Kat said Harriet Tubman was actually an amazing woman. She was a short little woman. She had narcolepsy and nightmares because of her previous owners. Yeah.
They knocked they hurt her in the head.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey,
and
Boston.
She had all that, and she did all those things.
Yep.
So we who suffer with little things that we can't do what? This is why we have great stories, true stories like Harriet Tubman and people from the past. If you need motivation, read their story, learn about what they did, and they did not have as much freedom. That's why I like Gustavo, who was a slave and he traveled the world.
Yeah.
You know?
Yup.
So that's what I said, that how you didn't just put on earth to do a 9 to 5. You do the 9 to 5 to pay the bills and stuff, but you have to take free time and do stuff to enjoy your life. Life is too short.
Yup. Hey Glenn, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Stephen King said, bro, I heard somebody say that Jesse Jackson was king of the black people. Is that true? I have no king but God. And even then, God is my creator, right? Don't bow down to any man, guys. Don't do that. Cam said I could be wrong. Kat said also Harriet Tubman never got caught. Never. Yup, exactly. So yeah, she did a great thing, right? Shout out to Harriet Tubman. Shout out to all of the individuals who went through slavery, the individuals who ran and fought back, and the individuals who did not fight back, and the individuals who did not run, because at the end of the day, they survived that. As I always say, I'm not going through that. I'll go out, right? So that was just a terrible era, right? It wasn't something people chose. It wasn't something people voluntarily entered into. It was something forced upon them and their ancestors, right? Some people just had the courage to be like, hey, I don't want to take myself out. I don't want to live this lifestyle anymore. So they ran, they were successful, and they had enough empathy and courage to go back to help other people. And that was Harriet Tubman in her own way, right? So yeah, everybody's important, but particularly all individuals who went through the era of slavery is very, very important and very monumental. But let's end this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hey, Eric, glad you could be here. What happened?
Yeah, dust on the creasy food table. Got vacuum.
Okay. What are we saying? The correct answer is... What is the correct answer? Okay, Mary Shelley. So 29% of you guys are correct. Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, the novel Frankenstein, right?
Which Frankenstein do you like? You ever saw the original Frankenstein in black and white? I like the original.
Okay, so let's do this one. This one's an interesting one for sure. More so relates to U.S. history a little bit. This is very interesting. Let's ask this one, guys. I'm sure all these females, okay, we're Caucasian for this question right here, though, but this more so relates to America, the early founding of America, or creation of it. Okay, so this question right here. Who was the first woman to sign the U.S. Declaration of Independence? Do you think it was Abigail Adams? Do you think it was Martha Washington? Do you think it was Betsy Rose? Or are we thinking it's none of the above? What are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? Remember, I often talk about U.S. history a little bit on the channel. I like to say something consistently. Let's see if y'all have been paying attention or if you just know on your own what the answer might be. All right? Let's see. Eric said, I'm attracted by your countdown fingers. All right, cool. Thank you. Kat said, never saw. Oh, you never saw Frankenstein? I think I saw one of the Frankenstein movies, but maybe not the original. If I've seen it, it probably was an adaptation. So, like, once upon a time, they had Frankenstein in there, right? I don't know if I've ever actually seen, like, Frankenstein's own movie, right? Drake said, Mia looks good in blue. Thank you so much. Yeah, Queen Mother's favorite color, so she has a lot of different stuff. And, yeah, you can tell this is kind of not my dress, though. The top is weird.
Stand up and show that dress. That dress fit you as if it's yours.
Oh, yeah.
You wearing the dress wrong. It's supposed to be off the shoulders. Around
Oh.
the shoulders.
Oh.
Pull it down.
I don't want to pull it down. Kat said, I'm going to guess, okay, Betsy Rose, because she made the flag. Okay. Either that or no woman signed. Okay. Hey, Pierre, how are you doing today? You're beautiful as well, Pierre. Glad you could be on the live stream. The algorithm knew you want to be part of a community where you're welcome for your positivity and uniqueness, so welcome to the channel. Make sure to like the video and consider subscribing. Welcome to Trivia Monday today. So, what do you think the answer is? Vote in the poll. Feel free to put your answer in the chat. Who was the first woman to sign the U.S. Declaration of Independence, guys? We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And 0% of you guys are correct. The United States government, at its early conception, was not created for minorities, and it was not created for women, right? It was a male-dominated government, which is why we still live in a patriarchal today, right? So no women was present, so the question is none of the above. I mean, women were present, but no women signed the Declaration of Independence. I heard something on social media the other day. It was really interesting to me. Have you noticed that, like, when a man is born, when a little boy is born, they call the little boy Mr. sometimes, right? When the boy grows up, the boy is called Mr., right? When the man grows up, the man is called Mr., right? However, when a little girl, an unmarried little girl is born, she's called Miss. Once she gets married, she transitions to Mrs. Why is that? The patriarchal. That's what somebody pointed out on social media. And I can see it, right? Why do we have to go through so many different titles, right? Prefixes, while men just have one, right? Miss, Mrs., and the other one. Exactly. So, patriarchal country, patriarchal government, right? It's changing a little bit, but we're not a matriarchy yet. Hopefully one day we turn into a matriarchy. Be much better for sure. Kat said, of course I should have known. Eric said, you're so intelligent. Thank you so much for your kind words, Eric. I'm glad you are enjoying the stream, and hopefully you're learning something from the Uniquely Mia channel. Cam said, I knew it. When I said none of the above, I'm 99% sure that's true. Yup. Yes, exactly. And Dr. Cam, for real, right? That's why when you get the doctor degree, change your name to doctor. And you know what? That's my title from now on. Doctor, right? Because at least you'll just have one and you don't have to change it, right? But patriarchal,
But they make you work for
Mrs.
that.
Yeah, they do. So that is true.
Then you know you deserve it.
Oh,
You're a
yeah.
woman.
Yeah. Wait, what?
They feel, because they try to keep you, so you prove yourself as a woman that you are just as capable, if not better.
Oh, yeah. Kat said, and its conception, this country was never for us. Exactly. You were right, Kat. At its conception, the country was not for us, right? It's like when they were originally the founders of the U.S., when they were originally creating the United States, right? The only reason why they decided to count slaves, but they didn't count slaves as citizens. They counted them as like 3/10, 3/2 of a person. The only reason why they did that, because if you look at the modern day Congress, the Senate, what they're doing, I mean, I don't know what they're doing right now, but what they're doing, essentially, when you look at New York and Alabama, right? Certain states have more voting power a little bit, right? They used to in the past, right? To equalize it, they try to put two people, like two representatives from each place, but they want the voting power, right? So early on, when they were creating like when they were dividing the areas and creating the early Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, they started to count slaves as 3/2 of a person, right? Just so they could get a little bit more power, but we still weren't citizens. You had to fight for that later on, right? So yeah.
3/2 of a person.
Yeah, it was something like that, 3/2, 3/10, but that they did that just so they can have more power when it comes to voting and representation.
So what? Our vote was not considered a full vote.
It wasn't our vote, it was just the people, because if you think about it, money in a particular state or district is tied to the number of people you have to serve, right?
Oh.
So that's what it was. The states wanted more money, but like why would I give you $10,000 when you have 5,000 people compared to this one state that has 10,000 people and they need the 10,000, right?
So 3/10
yeah.
of a person, it took a couple of people to make a whole person.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow, fascinating.
So yeah, Cam said, wait, what's happening? Dr. Mia, for real, one day for sure. Cam said, I'm going by doctor, even on my passport. I don't care, yup. And if someone says Miss or Mrs., I'm gonna correct them. I don't care. You gotta do that, right? You gotta do that, right? Once I have the doctor title, prepare to be sick of me, guys. It's gonna be a few years away, but but yeah. So my mom said like Dr. Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. If you guys remember that episode, he was like working with the police department and he was on a case, and I guess the officer didn't like what he was saying, so he was like, look at Mr. Spencer Reed, and he was like, and Dr. Reed, he like answered his question, and then at the end he was like, actually it's Dr. Reed. So that was really cool. So yeah, that'll be me for sure one day. Passport change, driver license change. I'll change the username on YouTube, but I guess yeah, Dr. Uniquely Mia for sure. So yeah. And you got to do that, Cam, because like my mom said, you worked for that, right? And at the end of the day, right, it'll be a fun social experiment to see if you're treated differently when people just read your name as doctor. And when you show up to the airport, you show up to the DMV, or you show up to a restaurant, they look for the doctor and they're looking at you, right? I'm sure they'll treat you different because people have that stereotypical view that doctors are only for males, right? So yeah. Only thing is, if you're on a plane and they ask if there's a doctor to help, keep your hand down. Because you're not a medical doctor. You're an academia doctor. Nick said, there's a massive poisonous spider. Look behind me. Oh. My mom says spiders is money. So if it's massive, that means we're getting a lot of money.
Spiders walk in castles. Spiders the only animals that can get into anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
A mansion,
hey,
a
Ruby.
castle, a jail. Know everything, see everything, and hear everything.
Exactly. Cam said, so you mean to tell me my Lord and Savior made me so a man wouldn't be lonely, Adam and Eve, just for a man to dismiss me to exactly, right? Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, right? Like I feel because it doesn't make sense in my opinion. I'm not going to take too much of a deep dive into it because it's controversial take for my creatives, but it doesn't make sense for me how like there are some males who think they're better than females. There are some males who will say females are nothing and males have all the power and males are dominated. So like that doesn't make sense. You don't like if you look if the closest thing to God is a female, right? You can create life. You can develop that life, right? You, Mother Earth. We live in Mother Earth. It's not Man Earth. It's not Father Earth. It's Mother Earth, right? How's a male creating life? One instance and that's it. Females are doing all the work, right? So it like that's what I'm saying, Kim. It's very, very interesting. So, right. I always say the Bible is a great source of information. It teaches you positive, wonderful, great lessons. But I always say at the end of the day, a man wrote the Bible, and sometimes the way the stories are told, it was definitely written to make females believe that they are less than and submissive. They should be submissive to this counterpart of males, right? So it's just really interesting for sure. Hey Tony, good afternoon. How are you doing today? Glad you could be here. You love the blue. Thank you so much. Styled by Queen Mother as always. Yeah, we did hear about the plane crash in LaGuardia Airport. That's definitely very sad, right? So I do know, yeah, very sad. Yeah, very sad for sure. Um, okay, read that. Of course, there was another plane crash in New York. Cam said the plane thing was so sad and unfortunate. Yeah, so unnecessary. That's such a big mess. Mess up, man. It's gonna be a huge case. Yeah, that's what I heard too. Cause like I was on like TikTok. That's where I get my news source. And like I heard the audio recording. Pete, like the guy was telling the people to stop. So and like the pilot didn't stop. So it's either the pilots didn't hear it or who knows what they were thinking, or if they couldn't stop because they were going too fast, right? But extra safety precautions are definitely needed. But I also heard some people say that airport has also had a lot of problems too, so it could be just the airport in particular, right? But hopefully it's fixed so it doesn't have to happen again, hopefully. As that really sucks for sure, guys. So let's get some more trivia questions. We'll do one more Women History Month trivia questions, and then we'll move on to a different topic. Is there any type of topics y'all would like me to ask you trivia questions on for this week? Feel free to let me know. Okay, I'm gonna read your comments in a second. Let me write out this trivia question for you guys. Okay. Alrighty, so this trivia question is, which woman became the first self-made female millionaire in the United States? Madam C.J. Walker? Do you think it is Oprah Winfrey? Are we thinking it's Estee Lauder? Or are we thinking it's Coco Chanel? Who are we thinking? Cam said the plane thing. Okay, read that one. Tony said, I never flew out of LaGuardia. I always thought the runway was too small. I never thought about that, honestly. I flew out of LaGuardia before, but like I never thought about the runway being small. To pay attention next time. I say next time. You don't want to go to that airport anymore, right? But yeah, if I ever go back to that airport, I'll have to pay attention to the runway. Never noticed it was that small. Cam said the pilot couldn't stop. It was too late. Okay. Those
the vehicle, the fire truck. The fire truck got permission to go on the runway. They were heading to a different plane for emergency.
Oh, so that's what my mom said. It was like less employees. Yeah, because employees, if there was more, they would have like seen it for sure. Yeah. Well, hopefully that's a sad thing, but sometimes it takes tragedies for like change to happen. So hopefully that pushes the lawmakers that people have elected into power to make a difference, right? Because to start paying the people, because right now they're not doing their job, and if they're doing their job, they're doing a terrible job at their job, right? So yeah.
Identify who's doing a terrible job.
Yeah, when I say who's doing a terrible job, it is Congress, the House of Representatives, the Senate, right? At this current moment of time, right? Because they are the individuals who have the power to vote to pay TSA workers or to not pay TSA workers, right? it is Congress. People may come and say it's the president can tell them what to do. That is true, but that is not true at the end of the day. It is Congress, it is TSA workers. As I said in a video, I didn't remake the video because the video is already up on my channel from last year when this happened, right? If you guys want to know, go watch that video, found in my educational playlist. But historically, what has been done when a government shutdown, a full government shutdown, or a partial government shutdown occurred, they would have that continuing resolution where they extend the budget from the previous fiscal year. They did that partially since this is only a partial government shutdown, but they did not extend it for this particular department, right? So that's why they're having this discussion. Or if they didn't want to have continuing resolutions anymore, what Congress could have done, which they have done historically in the past, they would send it to a small appropriations committee / group of about 13 or to about 4 to 13 people, and that those individuals would look at the previous budget and they would just pass another budget of like $200 billion, right? An estimate, right? So there are things they can do to get it paid, right? And I do understand that they said, hey, it's partial government shutdown because they are advocating so some areas don't get funded and others don't get funded. Let them do that, but they can fund the areas where people are working and they're not getting paid, right? So Congress, in my opinion, House of Representatives, in my opinion, they are doing a terrible job at their job and they're still getting paid at this current moment of time, right? So yeah, just based on my public administration knowledge that I've learned about in class. So yeah.
Topic.
Which one?
About the role, duties of a president, Congress, and the House of Representatives, so people could understand. Especially if it connects to current events.
Okay.
About the shutdown and all that stuff. So that should be trivia question.
Okay, so I'll write that out so I don't forget. But I'm gonna read up some of your comments and then we'll end the poll and then we'll go on to the Congress trivia questions.
The difference between Congress and the president or whoever.
Okay, what are we saying? CJ Walker, Kat said. Cam said Oprah. Okay, those are some good guesses for sure. Kat said, since it's women's history, maybe we can do questions about female reproductive system. I don't know if that's a word. Yeah, for sure. We can do some female reproductive system questions. Kat, that's a good one. Tony said, I heard that they found the flight attendant on the runway. It's a wonder she survived that. Oh, wow. Wow, well, glad she survived that. Wow. What are we saying? Cam said, well, not quite. They have merged TSA and ICE workers under one umbrella. The Democrats don't want to fund ICE until changes are made to TSA workers. Just got caught up in it. Yeah, so that's true, right? But it all falls under the same department, right? So it's just so like in the I don't have my notes in front of me, but based on memory, in the government, there's about 13 different departments that Congress passes the budget for, right? So like food stamps, that's its own department right there. What's another one? Department of Defense, which I think is what the TSA falls into. To my knowledge, I could be incorrect. That's its own, but it also includes the military. It also includes ICE, as you said, right? It also includes TSA and a lot of other things, right? So it's separate departments, right? So back in October, what happened, Cam and everyone else on stream, when it was a full government shutdown, all 13 departments that Congress had to approve the budget for, they didn't approve it for all of them, right? But now, they said since February, now it is a partial government shutdown, right? So with this partial government shutdown, this means that all the other departments, they have funding. It's just this one department. It could be one or two, but right now, to my knowledge, I'm saying it's one because that's what the media is talking about a lot now. So, and to my knowledge, it's only this one department that has not received funding, which is why it is partial, right? So, yeah. So, like I said, they could still do what I said because historically that's what they have done. But I get what you're saying, right? It's a good thing what they're doing because they want to negotiate, right? So this is their form of negotiation, saying, hey, we want this, we want that, which is the main reason why they haven't delegated this to the appropriations committee, right? So yeah. Bullshit, because you sent me in there. I could approach it how I had mediations with my with my residents. We could have this finished in like a few hours for sure, right? So they're not negotiating well because in a negotiation, you got to compromise, right? You don't get everything you want. What it seems like is happening, one one side wants to get everything they want and they don't want the other side to get nothing, right? So they're not good negotiators, right? So yeah. But we'll see what happens. I heard that they're supposed to go on vacation very soon. So hopefully yeah, they said like March 26th or 7th. Yeah, Congress is getting paid. That's what I'm saying. They're not doing a good job, right? So I heard they're supposed to go on vacation soon. So hopefully they figure this out before.
People suffer.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't make sense to me, right? It doesn't make sense regardless of whatever they're negotiating for. I'm just saying these are American workers. These are American citizens who are working and they're not getting paid. Regardless of what your stands are, related to immigration, not immigration, regardless of what your stance is for that, it doesn't make sense how U.S. lawmakers can justify not paying U.S. citizens. That is doesn't make sense area in my head, right? So yeah, Cam said DHS is what's holding up Congress right now, unfortunately. Yeah, Kat said, I don't understand this conversation. I didn't catch the beginning. I didn't really watch these. Yeah, so we were talking about, what is it? What's happening now with the government, how TSA workers aren't getting paid. So I was just sharing some knowledge that I've learned in public administration about what has historically happened when Congress is unable to agree on how much money to spend, right? Or how much money to allocate to departments. I was just sharing a little bit of knowledge about that, right? And I did do a full video about just about what has historically been done with Congress, right? When they're in this process of stuff. I shared that video last year in September, I believe. So you guys can go and rewatch that.
Why is everybody saying it's the president? It's the president's fault. Even congressmen are coming out.
People are saying it is the president's fault. One, because bad press is a real thing, and they think bad press is going to push people to do what who don't like the president to do something. But people are saying it's the president's fault because the Republicans, they control like, I think it's all three parties. Yeah, all three parties. The House, they can, president's Republican, right? They control Congress, they control the House, and they control the Senate. There are more Republicans than there are Democrats currently in Congress right now, right? So it's not the president's fault, but people are saying it's the president's fault because I think people think that if the president tell the Republicans to agree with the Democrats or vote this way, they will vote this way. That could be true. That could not be true. I don't know, because at the end of the day, there should be a checks and balance system in place, right? And don't come at me and say, Mia, that's not here currently. I don't know. I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's not. I'm just saying what the government looks like and how the government should operate, right? So, yeah, I guess people are saying it's the president's fault because they feel like if the president was to be like, hey, vote this way, the Republicans would vote this way. But at the end of the day, you have to remember that Congress, all the people in Congress, all the people in the Senate, all the people in the House, it is an elected position as well, too, right? So they can vote however they want to vote.
So they can vote and stop
Yeah,
it.
they can vote and stop it, right? So it's not the president's fault. It is Congress' fault at this point in time, right? It can be the president's fault because the reason why people are also saying that too, because as we have seen, the president has taken a lot of money, U.S. taxpayers' dollars, and spent it however he wants to spend it without congressional approval. So if the president were to be like, hey, I'm going to take this money, I'm going to pay TSA workers, he could do that too. So I guess that's why people see it's the president's fault, but that would be the president using his executive power or abuse of power, however you want to see it, right? But traditionally, right now, what's happening, they are following the rules, and when you follow the rules, you got to go through Congress. So it is Congress's fault and the Senate's fault. It's not necessarily the president's, right? So yeah. Cam said TSA workers getting help up against is something I can't even begin to imagine how they feel. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying too. Like I don't like it, like shout out to them, right? It is terrible to do, right? Because like terrible to feel, right? Because like they're going to work and they're not getting paid, right? People who are still going to work and they're not getting paid, like the government's going to reopen. Like it's a fact. This is an apocalyptic world. If it stays closed for too long, people will start to protest. Americans will start to get up and do something. And at the end of the day, lawmakers have to listen to the constituents, right? So the government's not gonna, this isn't gonna happen. This is not gonna stay, the TSA is not gonna go unpaid forever. It's going to reopen. So the people who are continuously going to work, I guess they have a great support system. them. Perhaps they have money saved, right? Perhaps they are optimistic that it will open sooner rather than later, and they know they're going to get their back money. So that is why they continue to go to work. And the ones who don't go to work, one, they just don't really care. They're like, hey, you ain't paying me, I'm not going to work. Two, they just probably can't do it. They just need to work in their job because they need the income, right? So, but yeah, it is a terrible position that they're in for sure. Like you said, I can't even imagine what it's like that, right? So yeah, exactly. My mom said they need food, they need to work to get paid, right? So it's understandable why they don't want to go to work, right? But like, it's sad. But for people who need to go to the airport, go really early, right? I guess. Kat said this country is turning into a peanut circus. Not a peanut circus, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I would like to know what foreigners who watch the news would think about America now. They're laughing at America now. I can tell you for that for sure. They're like, hey, look at America. Their airports are closed down, right? So America is not gold star for international right now. I can say that for sure. But yeah, Cam said vote in the midterms. Yeah, exactly. Vote in the midterms, as Cam said, right? You see it for all people watching, right? You see what's happening now. Don't blame the president. Blame your representatives. Blame your senators, the people who you elected into positions, your mayors, your governors. That's the ones supposed to represent you. And if you are somebody who is being impacted at this current moment of time, based on what's happening, or if you know somebody's being impacted, right? You don't have to know somebody. You could just be somebody going to the airport and you're impacted too by it, right? This is your time to vote, and this is your time to change, as Cam said. Vote in the midterms. You got to do that, right? You got to vote those senators and Congress individuals out of office because they're too old and they don't care about American people. They really don't. I think term limits should definitely be installed. I don't understand why we don't have term limits for Congress and Senate. Like, we have it for the president. We need term limits for Supreme Court, for these senators, the House of Representatives, and Congress. It does not make sense. Literally, somebody did a video the other day, guys, and almost people who are in Congress right now, who is leading the United States, they're baby boomers, and they're like Gen X, I think, or Gen Y. They're too old. Exactly, Cam. They're too old. There are more young people alive in the world than the people leading the government of the United States. How does that make sense? And then we sit down and we complain about what's happening. We don't like what's happening. And it makes sense why we don't like what's happening, too, because the people who is leading the government is from a different era. So if you were somebody who's a millennial, who's a Gen Z, I guess you could do it. Yeah, I could do it if I want to at my current age or my degrees. Yeah, if you're a millennial, if you are a Gen Z, you want to make a change, you want to enter that arena of the world, go and run for politics, right? You think it's hard? Look who's running the government. Look who's running all areas of government now in the United States. They doing whatever they want and they making a lot of money because, yeah, so do it. And make change for sure. As long as it's positive. If you're a racist, run, and don't even run. If you racist and discriminatory, stay out of it. Like, no, we don't need more of y'all. Stay out of it, man. That message was not for racist at all. Really not. But let me read up some of these comments and then we'll get back to the poll. Cam said, checks and balances is terrible. Abraham Lincoln and George Washington were turned over in the great. It's just very funny, right? It's like sometimes I'll listen to the news, Cam, and I'm like, the news will say this is happening, and then I'll tell my mom, I'll just voice my opinion to my mom, or I'll think in the back of my head, I'm like, how in the world is that possible? That goes against what I just learned in public administration. I'm like, that's not right. Why are you getting in trouble? That's not right. So you are right, Cam. Checks and balances in the United States at this current moment of time, it's not following how it should be at all. Welcome back, Drake. Drake said, and you absolutely know they have an old way of viewing things. Yup, exactly. This why they think they can tell women what to do with their bodies. Exactly, yeah. Being racist, that's that's like a job requirement, isn't it? Oh, for politics? No, it's not. It's not a job requirement too, because look at what politicians have done in the past. It's because of politicians in the past that the Civil Rights Act was passed. It's because of prior senators that the 14th Amendment was changed, right? Ratified, and changed a little bit, right? So no, I don't think being racist is part of the job description to be a politician, to be a senator, to be the president, right? I told you guys it's like if you look at I don't know, for the past, I don't know, 10 years, prior 10 years, 8 years, a little bit, the demographics have changed a little bit, right? Based on who is leading the government, the just this rhetoric, this notion of extreme discrimination a little bit has started to be pushed a lot more, right? So it has not historically been like that. It's just something new that has emerged, right? And it can definitely change, but you just need to elect the individuals in office who believe in that. However, I did hear something as well that was interesting. People said that some Gen Z are becoming more conservative views, and being conservative is not bad. I do want to say that, right? If you're a conservative supporter, that is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just my opinion. What are you conservative about? That's where it becomes bad, right? So if you are conservative about saying, hey, you are a racist, you are pro-white, that is very bad right there, in my opinion, right? There's a list of other things too, right? But people often say that Gen Z leans in more of a conservative view for things outside of race sometimes, and that's why they vote a certain way, which is why we see things happening now, which is happening now too, right? So it just depends on how you look at it. But being racist is not a requirement to be a politician. Kat said, I don't know how y'all watch the news and don't wake up dreading the future. I'll actively watch these guys. I told you it's Stu. He will watch the news, and I just listen to the news, or I'll be like I'll be on just TikTok, and I'll like see like a news video about like a reporter, right? So my feed isn't like, I don't actively wake up and choose to watch the news, right? I don't do that. But it's just like sometimes you'll just be like, you'll hear it in passing, right? Or like if this is happening, right, or something, you got to do your research, and you stumble upon this on your research, and you learn a little bit more about it. How will it affect you, right? So yeah, like that. Drake said it just seems like it, especially under this administration. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, Drake. It like that is definitely something new that is emerging. Being racist is a requirement, so you're right to make that assumption based on what has happened in the prior years, for sure. But historically, it is not like that. It's not a requirement, because at the end of the day, we got to look back and look at all the positives that has been happening and the advancements for African American and other minority individuals. If prior politicians can do that, future ones can do it too. If anything, it just shows you need more diversity in the government, right? And you need diversity is not just color of your skin. Diversity is age too, because a white Gen Z could go in there and they could advocate for things that will benefit minorities, right? Will they? Probably not, but they could do it. So diversity is just not the color of your skin. Diversity is your knowledge that you have, the degrees that you have, the age in which you are, your religion. That is what diversity is, right? So yeah. Drake said, hey, glad you could be here, Joey. How's everything going? Glad you could be here. What's up? It is Trivia Monday. So if you know the answer, which woman became the first self-made female millionaire in the United States? Feel free to type in the poll. But right now I'm just answering some questions. We're having like a side conversation about politics a little bit, current events. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to stem some of my public administration knowledge and share it with you guys. Like I could get some terms wrong, but I don't have my notebooks in front of me, right? If you want some accurate information, public administration information, all this, I feel like everything I'm talking about, I really spoke about in Influencers My YouTube video. So if you guys want a more cohesive, straightforward version of it, definitely check that video out for sure. Drake said, I think the younger generation just goes with what's more popular, edgy, trendy, controversial. It's not the more conservative. Oh yeah, I can see that view. Yeah, I can definitely see that viewpoint for sure, Drake. Yeah, I can see that viewpoint for sure. Yeah, so that's why if you know any young Gen Zs or anybody, encourage them to subscribe to Unique Lemire, right? Because on this channel, I do encourage you guys to be your positive and unique self, and to engage in that critical thinking and engage in that research, right? So you can further your knowledge, not be a follower, right? We need more leaders for sure, right? I saw what is it, a post, another creator, and she was like, bring back bullying. She was like, students don't get bullied enough in schools. I don't think bullying is good at all, right? But I do think that we do need to correct individuals with things that are wrong. I think what is happening sometimes with the generation, or just in 2025, 2026, people like kids will say something, teenagers will say something, an adult will say something, and for some reason people do not want to correct them. People just want to say you can have your opinion and you go this way. That is true, but at the end of the day too, we do need to correct people who say stuff that is incorrect. You can't just have them say this that is incorrect or that is hurtful and let them go their way because they are not learning. They are not reprimanded for that, right? So yeah, I don't think we should bring back bullying, but I do think saying, "Oh no, you're not a dog, you're a human. You can't identify as a dog." You like you know what I mean? So like you need to back and say, "No, that's not right." So yeah. Kat said most older African American actually have quite conservative, but the Democrat Party typically supports social service and civil rights. Yeah, exactly, right? So yeah, as I'm saying, if you look at the interviews that was done in like 2002 or like I don't know, 2011, right? There was a lot of African Americans who voted red. There was a lot of them who voted red, but they weren't racist, right? So the new red voters, because of the one group that has emerged, you guys know which group I'm talking about, they are racist, right? So that's why we are more likely to vote this certain way now, right? Depending on who that person is and what they believe in, right? But historically, voting red was just more money for people and more conservative beliefs. It wasn't racist. It wasn't racism, right? But now in modern day, it is racism a little. It is racism, right? A little bit. So yeah, that's a great point that you bring up, Cats, for sure. Drake said, "You get more reactions and clicks and loves when you claim to be conservative." Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. Yeah, because you're like, oh, what is this person thinking about? Like, what is that, right? So yeah. Hey, glad he could be here. Glad he could be here, Jukebox. Glad he could be here. How's everything going? Love the emojis. Welcome to Trivia Monday. Hey, Vic, thank you. Glad you love the blue. Styled by Queen Mother, as always. It's funny. The conversation we were talking about, we're in blue. That's funny. But yeah, I'm glad you guys like the outfit. So let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. But if you guys have any other questions that you guys want me to ask, my opinions, I'm just sharing my opinions on this as always, right? Trying to tie it into public administration a little bit. Feel free to leave it, comment in the chat. More than happy to continue the conversation or pivot to a different topic a little bit. But we're going to get back into the trivia questions a little bit. So yeah, the correct answer is 50% of y'all. Madam C.J. Walker was an African-American female. She was created like the first African-American hair care line a little bit, you can say. And yeah, she was the first self-made female millionaire in the United States. It wasn't a white woman, it was a black woman, right? African-American woman. So now we're gonna move on to
who was the first child millionaire in the United States? The first teenage. Well, no, that's probably it's a lot. It's too many.
I don't know.
It's too many.
Oh.
Yeah, it's too many. Sophia, but she was African American. I wonder if she was the first African American.
So now I'm gonna ask y'all some questions about the government and the budget cycle, since we were on that discussion of the government and the budget cycle a little bit. And then we'll go into the topic that Cats recommended, which was the reproductive system questions. Let me find a good one for you guys. I want to start with an entry level question for y'all. Entry level. Okay, let's start with this one. This one's a good one. Entry level. This is like the first thing you learn. We're tying it back to some of the content that I learned in my classes a little bit. Okay.
In the 4 zone.
Oops, okay. The J in July got cut out. Ignore that. So, what is the fiscal year in the United States federal government? Do you think it runs from January 1st to December 31st? Do you think it runs from April 1st to March 31st? Do you think it runs from October 1st to September 30th? Or do you think it runs from July 1st to June 30th? Hey Emma, how are you doing today? Do you think Madam C.J. Walker's family still has generational wealth? I think so. We can actually ask Google, but I think so for sure. If they invested well, for sure, I would hope so.
Check.
Sophia family lost she lost all her money.
What in the
Because of
world?
Great Depression.
Oh,
They
okay.
lost a lot of money.
Ew, that sucks for them. What they do with the money? They said Madam C.J. Walker's direct descendants do not retain the original fortune. Oh, it was drained during the Great Depression. Okay.
Great Depression wiped a lot of people out.
Yeah,
I
they.
think only the Rockefeller and the Vandenberg, only
Mhm.
like 3 families survived.
Wow. That's sad, man. Yeah, wow. They said their fortune was originally $8 to $9 million modern day. Wow.
And Sophia was 150 million.
Wow. Drake said Marilyn Monroe. That's a good question. Who was the first child millionaire? Really? It was Marilyn Monroe? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting one. Drake is like, everybody better get this trivia question right.
I know, right? Because Mia
That's
always
funny.
speak
No,
about
I do. So I'm like, are you guys paying attention?
It's certain things we should know if you are a true.
That is true, guys. That is true. And did you watch my video? I said this in the video, guys. And Emma, what are you talking about, Emma? Emma, that doesn't make any sense, right? That, like, what in the world? Do you know white families lost their money too, right? It wasn't just black individuals. It was white individuals. White individuals had to turn to jobs they would have never done before in their life, right? White individuals became poor. They died in homelessness. They went through extreme poverty. So it wasn't just black wealth that was lost, okay, Emma? Alrighty?
You know something?
Mm-hmm.
They're always coming after minorities to oppress you, but still they pass through.
Exactly. Exactly.
So African American people, that's what we shall overcome. You know how many things they threw at us, and still we rise.
Like, for real.
Still we rise.
For real. Y'all, white individuals in America, y'all have generational wealth. If you are a poor white individual, if you are a middle class individual, what excuse was your ancestor? Your ancestors were lazy. Because if you are a poor white individual, if you are a middle class white individual, what in the world were your ancestors doing? At least my ancestors had an excuse why they didn't have generational wealth. What's your excuse? Right? What's your excuse? So think before y'all want to say a whole bunch of bad stuff about modern day minorities and relating it to their income or their intelligence or everything. If there's a black person who is smarter than you and you are a white person, don't sit down and bash that minority. Don't sit down and bash that black person. Ask yourself, why didn't my ancestors make me smart enough to persevere? Why didn't my ancestors teach me enough so I can have more intelligent or a harder work ethic than this minority individual? Alrighty? So don't as they are exceeding and excelling more than you if you are white. Bash yourself and your ancestors because y'all were lazy and you did not want to do it. So yeah, you guys weren't oppressed. Drake said, no, I don't know. I was just guessing. I can ask Google for sure. Jake said, well, everybody knows that I know Mia. I'm gonna ask it, but yeah. Guys, I don't like it's very annoying to me sometimes when individuals like to say certain things about minorities that just doesn't make sense in my opinion, right? Because that just shows it, yeah. Exactly. It's all race of people, as my mom said. Exactly.
What do go to the color is all the obstacles that they put in minorities' way so that they cannot progress.
Exactly. So we're gonna end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's end the polls in the poll. All right. So 60% of you guys listen to what I say and have learned something. Y'all are correct. It is from October 1st to September 30th is when the fiscal year budget is generally that's what the fiscal year is, right? So if Congress did their job correctly back in September, right? Obviously they didn't pass anything in September 30th because they had a full government shutdown for like 42 days, right? But if they did their job correctly last year, TSA workers would be getting paid today because the budget would have still been passing. And fun fact for you guys, once the government finally reopens, the fiscal year doesn't extend. So we'll be back in this situation in September again if they can't agree. But yeah, but glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Kevin, how's everything going for you guys? I'm glad you could be here. We're asking some questions right now about the budget cycle and the government in the United States. Sit back, enjoy, and relax. Hopefully you can learn something for real. And if you guys, while we're going through this section of the trivia, I have full nutritional YouTube videos that's going to explain most of the information I'm talking about right now. So if you guys want to go and watch those videos to get like a full clear version and answer of it, we can do that. So I will have to put this question in the chat just because it's too long for me to put in a poll. So I'm gonna put this question in the chat for you guys.
I know so.
1 minute, guys.
I know so. I know so.
I'll still read it out for you guys. So, what is a continuing resolution? Do you think it's a law that permanently sets the budgets? Do you think it's B, a temporary funding measure to keep the government running? Do you think it's A, Supreme Court decision? Do you think it's C, a Supreme Court decision? Or do we think it's D, a presidential executive order? What do we think a continuing resolution is? And I'm going to create a poll for the people who don't want to answer in the chat. So you can put your answer in the chat as love positive and D supported. Welcome, D support, welcome, love positive. Or you guys can like vote in the poll. So, okay, you guys said B. It's good. It's good. Good guesses for sure. Okay. It's good. What are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? Put the answer in the chat. Make an educated guess. I spoke about this before, guys. I spoke about it in this live stream.
That was nice.
So, let's see. I know sometimes when people say a lot of stuff, you guys can forget. But let's see. We got 2 votes in. It's anonymous. Charger, Mom.
Go ahead.
Huh?
You can move it. You touch them.
Yeah.
Oh!
What? Well, I have 43%. Would have died too.
I love you, man.
I'm saving my battery a little bit.
I love you.
What are we thinking, guys? A, B, C, or D? Okay, so I'll tell you the answer for this one. Okay, Drake is thinking A. Okay, so we'll end the poll. The correct answer is actually B. So 100% of you guys got that of the 2 votes. The continuing resolution is a temporary funding measure. Wait, is it? I just confused myself. Sorry. Yeah, I'm correct. Okay. Yeah, it is a temporary funding measure that is going to keep the government open temporarily, right? So, until they can delegate it to the appropriations committee so they can make a vote on it. So, as I said earlier, guys, what has historically happened, I'm going to do the crash course for you guys if you look at the history, because the Congress being late on passing the budget, that's nothing new. They did that historically, but generally what happens, so they don't have a partial or a full-on government shutdown like they have currently, they passed the continuing resolution, which essentially is extending the fiscal year budget from the previous year, right? And generally, they will either do what they're doing now, and if they come to a stalemate, which they obviously are at, they will delegate the fiscal year budget to an appropriations committee, including 3 to 13 individuals, and those individuals will pass a new fiscal year budget, right? So the congressional continuing resolution is just temporary. It's not permanent, but yeah. I believe that's what CR is, MMB. Okay, cool. Very nice. All right, so let's see another one for you guys. Let's do this one. Which one? Oh, you could do this one, guys. This one's a good one. So this is all introduction. Yeah, information that you learn if you take a budgeting class in public administration. You'll learn this probably the first 2 weeks of classes.
You're sitting on the cord.
What cord?
Look.
But welcome everybody to the live stream. Glad y'all could be here. I do hope you guys are enjoying the stream. It's Uniquely Mia, also known as Mia. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, Professional Writing, Master degrees in Public Administration and Criminal Justice. And y'all are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. So on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I like to have Trivia Mondays just so we can engage in the educational aspect of the Uniquely Mia channel and etc.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, 6 o'clock.
Okay, so what is the purpose of the Office of Management and Budget, also known as OMB? To pass laws? Do you think it is to review, to help the president prepare the budget, or to collect taxes? What are we thinking, guys? Welcome back, Gigi Cat. How's everything going with you? What'd you guys do off stream? What'd you guys eat for dinner? I don't think I asked yet. Drake said, the way it was written confused me. I thought, to temporary keep the government open. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. When I just copied and pasted it, so settings got distorted a little bit, but it's all right. Kat said, my mom and her African husband always needs so much help with visa immigration type stuff. Wait, shout out to you, Cats, for being the helpful hand to helping them. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure that process can be very confusing and very difficult. I mean, I've never done it, but I can only imagine, right? If it's sometimes difficult to just find documents to send to a school, I can only imagine what it'd be like to send to a government, right? So yeah. But what are we thinking? For this one?
I know, yeah. Because you had me in it. You had me in it.
What's for dinner, though, guys? So let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So fun fact, this was an exam question that my professor asked, and I got 100. Well, I didn't get 100. I got like a 95, but I got like a 98 on the exam, so it worked out in the end. So I think I know this one pretty good, honestly, pretty good. So points were taken off for grammar. It was a timed exam, and I had to write a full essay. That's insane. And an essay in grad school, thanks. And an essay in grad school is like 10 plus paragraphs. It's terrible. So yeah. But yeah, the office of OMB helps the president helps the president prepare the budget. So they set the guidelines and the standards, like this is the format it needs to be in, this is what it needs to say, this is what it's for, right? So it just sets the guidelines and regulations for what it does, right? So yeah. You sound stupid. Thanks for sharing your opinion. I know I'm not stupid though, but glad you felt comfortable to share that, Boston.
Okay, that would be so nice.
Okay. So we'll do one more question about the budget, and then we will go to another one.
29th Street.
What are you talking
Buy
about?
like a lot of this stuff for the little kid.
Yeah.
Cheaper and just ship it in.
Wow. No, but he ain't got enough time. How mom and dad is good?
Yeah, they're good.
That's good.
This one's a good one.
Yeah, maybe we could.
This one good one.
We could, because if we going for a week, we
one's a good
can
one.
carry it in a suitcase.
Yeah.
We can
But
carry
you
it
don't
in a
need that much
suitcase.
clothes.
We can fly for a week if you want to do it before you go back to work.
Yeah, I want to, but I'm only gonna stay out another probably week.
Oh, you
Just
going
for
back
my
right
sick
there.
day.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
So Robin can't do it because she.
Sorry about that confidential information. Sorry about that.
The house is good. The house is good. And then let me tell you, if you
Okay.
come, I'll go in.
So this question here, what happens if Congress and the president fail to pass funding, the funding bill on time? Do you think taxes are automatically raised? Do you think the government shuts down? Do you think the president sets the budget alone? Why is that so long? Do you think the courts takes over funding? What do you think happens? Hey JR, how are you doing today? Glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. Kat said, I'm glad I could help though. Can I tell a crazy short story? Yeah, for sure. How my mom's husband got citizenship approved? Yeah, for sure. It would be interesting. Let me know. Let me know. It's so crazy. It's I can't tongue tied, but that's really cool.
Sounds like she's.
Huh?
Yeah. No, I said you sound real good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I'm proud of her.
You don't know what's going on.
That's you.
Everyone knows this one. Hopefully Drake. I'm watching y'all, bro. She said I'm the baby. She said I'm the baby. Bro.
Wow, Mia, you hear that?
What?
And everything.
Say that so she can have.
What?
He's talking about the
food that she made.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry I'm eating. She packed me more.
Oh, you're all good. You're all good.
Thank you.
Yeah, she makes the best food, honestly. You see, guys, I'm not biased.
And do whenever you're ready. I'll cook for you. I'm cooked too much. I
I think it's salty, bros. It's plantain chips, banana chips.
Every week we're always throwing away because I cook so much food.
That was the best food I had in
What are we thinking? A shutdown, government shutdown, Drake job.
I can't eat the rest of that.
Kat said, so he did all the paperwork, okay? He made the expensive trip to DC, and they were getting ready to turn. What? Turn from the embassy because he forgot one paper. Oh my gosh. Then my older sister, who knew the embassy director, made a phone call, and 30 minutes later, he had a citizenship proof. Shout out to your sister. Shout out to your sister, Cats, because oh my gosh. But what country in Africa is? Have you ever been to Africa, Cats? That's really cool. And exactly, Cats. Like, it's truly just the people you know. That's what I'm saying. Use the nepotism that you guys have, and like, that's great. Make friends with everybody. You need to know people. That's really awesome.
I think you'll be happy in the Caribbean or South America. Where the money goes further than
Drake, I'm not biased because somebody else who was in the studio today just said that my mom makes the best food ever. So obviously, you know I'm not biased now, right?
Yeah, that's where I think
When you ready to pop like that? Why? You don't like my Popeyes review? I think KFC's better than Popeyes. I had KFC today, and it was really good. Exactly, Cap. Imagine if she didn't know him, then he would have to, like, he probably wouldn't have gotten it. They wanted to send him all the way back to Africa, like, without the paper, because, like, or if he had somebody to, like, email him the paper, he could have gotten it that way. That's insane to me. Wow. That's crazy. But, what in the world? Who voted for A? Who in the world voted for A? Who voted for A in this poll? Taxes are automatically raised.
But when you retire, all your kids.
Did y'all just do that for fun?
I think.
Or are you not from the United States? If you're not from the U.S., understood. But what happens if Congress and the president fails to fund a bill on time?
I might want to do another.
What are we thinking, guys?
I don't know yet.
What are we thinking?
I feel good, but sometimes I pressure.
We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Somebody.
But I do feel good.
The correct answer is 50% of you guys, the government shuts down. So now let's move on to reproductive systems. I do hope y'all learned something about the government there. If you guys want to learn more about the government, go watch my education videos. And while you're watching that, if you're like, hey, Mia, can you talk about this? Leave a comment. Let me know.
If that's what you're feeling, what you have to do is.
Oh, very cool. He's from Ghana. Nice.
Yeah.
And he said the people working in the embassy were being so wild rude to him, but the director walked him to his office himself and was talking about how smart my sister is. Wow, nice. Shout out to your sister. Shout out to the director for being nice to him. That's the one thing that I hate, right? Sometimes you'll meet people, and for some reason, it's like, I've noticed from my personal experience, anytime I'm in public streaming, right, or anytime my mom and I are in public and I'm not recording, I'm not streaming, and we just have bad customer service, it's either from Americans, like other American females, it's either them, they're really rude to us for some reason, or it is Caribbean
Yeah,
females who are
you
really
said
rude to
that
us for some reason.
Yeah, because
So
I had-
it be your own people
You ain't got
sometimes,
no
right? And I don't know why
Yeah,
people
yeah.
do that. I guess it's that American perspective and idealism that
I'm down to get to
they're the
Guyana.
better than everyone else, right? But I think people are becoming more aware that they should not be mean to people, right? Government shut down. How we better than everybody else? They're open, right? So yeah.
I would love
I mean,
to
but yeah.
take you like, cause it's the border. To take you up
Oh,
on that side, we could.
I would love to see
Yeah,
that.
but we need more than
I
a
heard
week
they
to
live
do
up
that.
in the trees too.
No,
some of
because
the
it's like
people.
nothing.
They don't live in it. They
Oh,
we
yeah.
have-
Who live in a
we
tree?
have the jungle. Guyana's a country, so we have the Amazon jungle.
Oh, the
we have,
Amazon.
yeah, we
That's-
have the Amazon jungle. We do have people that
No, because
still live
it's
in
like
indigenous
nothing
people that still
is
live
ever
like
good
how they
enough.
lived
Oh,
years
they,
ago.
yeah.
Or the level
we
of your
have
mom's
cities.
cooking. That is true though, Drake. My mom's cooking is really good.
Where we live
I
in
will
the
admit there's
city,
some
so
meals
we'll
she
be
made.
good
She has
there.
made recently. I'm
But
like,
it's so much to
maybe
do.
not that, but her meals are really good.
Love you, my nephew.
Love you too.
So
Play a game.
Yeah, let's play, man.
But,
this is about reproductive health. This was requested by Gigi Cat, also known as Cats of Pokemon. This topic. No, like cats. I'm kind of ignoring Boston. I think Boston is projecting. So I will say Boston, be your positive and unique self, Boston. But I don't think you are dumb, Boston. I don't think you don't know what you're talking about, Boston. I think you have your own unique intelligence, and mental health is not a stigma, Boston. So if you struggle from like thinking negative thoughts about yourself, Boston, definitely consider visiting like a doctor about it, right, or somebody. So this is about reproductive health trivia questions. All right.
Youngest daughter.
So,
Dad, get whatever you
what
want.
is the typical length of a menstrual cycle? Do you think it's 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, or 60 days? What are we thinking, guys?
You said, I don't want no money. Could you get me a bag of rice and what do you got? Rice and chicken. So we got him a big bag.
What are we thinking? If you don't know, just make an educated guess.
So you see, you are, let's talk about how you are a walking example of that giving.
Yeah.
So don't even think about it. You just love that. You get off on that.
But you know
something? I think if you did it honestly, guys, because you were speaking about that, your heart.
For sometimes.
I want to go to that seawall.
That's
I want
funny.
to go to that seawall and see.
Glad is not forever.
Yes,
Sometimes.
That's less.
That's not good.
Than,
But you know, my mom said she thinks males experience menstrual cycles too. Obviously not how females do, but she said sometimes males, they get like catch an attitude like every month, and she said that's like the male version of a menstrual
I don't
cycle.
want to do for people because you know when you could get back,
Yeah.
you know God.
What y'all think about that?
always blesses.
Let's end the poll in 5,
Like,
4,
I haven't done it in a while, but if
3,
if the day comes
2,
you happen to go
and
there,
1.
I'll do it.
I wanna go
No,
to
Kat,
Kenya.
I just realized the way the question is like phrased, it is kind of a trick question. So the correct answer is 28 days, but Kat's is right. The way the question is phrased is very weird. So the typical length of a menstrual cycle is like 7 days for people, like between 3 to 7 days, some people said. But it is actually every 28 days. Every 28 days, like the egg breaks if it's not fertilized, right?
I know.
So, but it was phrased very weird. I didn't notice that until y'all started to vote on it. So, my fault on that one.
He got the queen and the princess.
No.
That's right.
And we have a prince too.
Like, oh yeah.
What were you saying? Drake said, "Now I will admit, the younger me always thought it happened once a month, every month, for the whole."
People be like, "Can I marry you?" Who you asking to marry?
For the whole month.
He's
Oh
like,
my
"That's
God,
a
Drake, for the whole month.
He's an incredible, and it breaks my. He's an incredible little boy.
You're funny, dude. Oh my God, for the whole entire month.
Great, but I see him as being above and
Yup.
beyond.
Man, just give up at that point for the whole month.
Love and
Kat said, yeah, because there's a difference between menstrual cycle and our monthly cycle. Yeah, the question was phrased really, really weird. But yeah.
Old and the mother's there too.
Yeah.
So it gotta be G.
So this one's probably more straightforward. So this one.
Oh, that's an Aiden?
Yeah. His
Wow.
godmother bought it for him.
That's nice. That's a
That's
nice
dangerous.
scooter. Wow.
That is dangerous.
Nah, this motorized?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
pretty.
I don't like it.
Yeah, but
I
as
prefer
long
him
as
his
he's
bike.
like on a helmet.
He's a rider. I think he should just stick to his bike riding. I think this is for like.
That's like a little hobby.
Okay, so this question here
How fast that thing go?
What court case once established federal protection for abortion rights in the United States? Do you think it's Brown v. Board of Education? Do we think it's Roe v. Wade? Or are we thinking it's Miranda v. Arizona? What are we thinking? And all these questions are related to trivia questions about reproductive health in America. Since it is Women's History Month, we're asking some questions about females.
Like, yes. When the plane started to rise, he was like, "Oh, can we get out? Can we get
No,
out?
he said land is plane.
Get out."
Land is plane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you know when you're in the plane, your pressure sometimes.
Kat
your
said,
head-
because period versus not period isn't the only thing happening in our whole cycle. Yeah. If that makes sense, it makes sense. Yeah. Sometimes we're ovulating, etc. Generating, gestating. Yeah. Roe v. Wade. Okay, nice. Drake said it's a shame, but I don't know this one. Really? Wow. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna end the poll, and I'll go a little bit over all three after. We'll end the poll in 5, 4,
They go all in.
3.
Your things right here.
Oh snap! 2
Oh, yeah, that's the plug in. Yeah, but
and 1.
Once you figure out where that screws into, that's gonna be
So,
the chart.
correct answer is 100% of you guys. So, Roe v. Wade was once a case that provided federal protection for abortion rights in the United States. That is the Supreme Court case that was overturned, I think, last year or the year before.
So it's like a
Which,
magnet.
when I say it was overturned at the federal level. So, prior to that, it provided federal protection. So, even though Texas was like, we don't support this, if women got that, if the women received that service in Texas, they could not be persecuted because it was federal law, right? Federal law overrides state law. However, what happened last year or the year before, the Supreme Court justices, highest level, they overturned Roe v. Wade, and they said, let's leave it up to the states, right? So some states, like New York, they still allow it, while states like Texas, Georgia, if you need access to that service just because it's your choice or just because it's a medical reason, you can be criminalized for that, even if you just need it because you are going to die without getting that. The fetus is not going to live. That's what they did, right? So, Brown versus Board of Education was essentially the idea of saying let's desegregate schools, because some individuals black schools, they weren't receiving best funding. Sometimes they have to travel like hours to get to school. So Brown v. Board of Education essentially overturned that, right? And then for Miranda v. Arizona, that is essentially the Supreme Court case that says, okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say against me will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If an attorney is not, if you don't have access to attorney, one will be provided for you, etc. So that's what Miranda v. Arizona is, right? So all three cases are very important, very monumental. Brown v. Board of Education, Miranda versus Arizona are still federal laws, federal decisions. They have not been overturned, thank God, right? But Roe v. Wade, unfortunately, has been overturned, right? Hey, Hello Kitty, how are you doing today? Yeah, I remember you. How's everything going? Hey, Miss Shelly, how are you doing today? Drake said, oh, my bad, I didn't know. No, you're all good. Don't worry. If I made you feel bad for saying, oh, wow, really? I didn't mean it, right? It's just you know what? I fall for my own bias, right? I should not make the assumption that if I know this, everyone else will know this by default, right? So as you can see, we're human, and we all adhere to our own biases, right? So my logical fallacy, you could say, was me thinking I knew this. I thought it was common knowledge, so everyone would know it. So since you didn't know it, I'm glad you were able to learn a little bit more about it on the Uniquely Mia channel, right? On the Uniquely Mia channel, this is just a place where we all learn to each other, right? So, Kat said, I used to think when I heard Brown v. Board of Education or Roe v. Wade that it was the name of judges. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? When I was a young teen, I didn't know they were whole cases. Yeah, they were big cases. They were major cases for sure. All of them, yeah.
Always criticize the way I do things or the way I thought or what you always had an opinion to say, and it wasn't always positive.
You got off of school? How was school, Hello Kitty, today?
These are my kids.
Oh, yeah. It was a very important Supreme Court case, and once again,
So to see them
religion and the government are supposed to be separated. We don't see that a lot. All I will say,
I'm very proud.
if you pay attention to government.
Very proud. I mean, from where you came from and where you are now, you always had that.
Let's do this one.
It's like I always say to how I did not create geniuses. I created hard workers. I taught them, listen, Because genius is somebody they can just like open up this 500-page book and read it in an hour, remember every single thing that they just read. My kids always had to work hard, but I'm proud of myself because I taught them how to work hard, and I always taught them never be afraid of the unknown. You know, I said, and I always said,
All right.
and I'm
So
happy
this
to
one.
witness that they really
What is the
listen,
medical
because
term for the
here's the
release
thing
of
that
an
keep
egg
us
from the
humble.
ovary? You got that quick. Fertilization.
Whatever
Do
don't
you
know
think
in
it
life,
was
you always
ovulation? Do you think it's
Leave it
implantation?
with
Or do we think it's
always
menstruation?
with
What are we thinking, guys?
Oh, yeah.
conference, making
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
she did everything right.
Well,
you
I
know?
tried. You know,
That's
Drake
what
said,
it's about.
LMAO, no, I literally knew it, but I didn't. Oh, it didn't hit you until you heard. No, that happens. That happens too, honestly. That happens a lot too.
So whatever you can do to make their life a little easier, as long as they're on the right path, you're gonna do it.
Thank you, Cats, for your kind
Really
words.
appreciate that. You know,
And for your
as long
words
as
of
they're, like,
encouragement. I really
receptive to
appreciate you, Cats.
You know,
Cats
it's
is
a
like, I feel like
difference.
Mia could read a 500-page book or remember
Nobody
it.
is a fool.
I
If you
wish.
have a child
I'll remember the
that
main points,
disrespects
right?
you
Because
and telling yourself, I'm backing away,
in the past I've
I'm
had to do that for
backing away.
classes.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything, but I remember the main points. Like, what does the first page, what does the first paragraph say? What does the middle paragraph say? What does the last paragraph say? After that, make sure to write down the key terms and you'll get the general idea of it. So, yeah.
I'm the only one that's going in there buying.
You love my
buying
shirt?
the
Thank you
store,
so much.
buying
It's actually a
online,
dress.
I
It's my
support-
mom.
I support
Does
young
it give
people
Cruella
to
de Vil
find
vibes? I don't know. I feel like why am I seeing Cruella de Vil
That's
like in the remake of the
People just
movie?
have to
No,
be
am I
kind.
reaching? No, I don't know.
I love you. You are the
Yeah.
best. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Don't forget the food, Abdul.
Oh no, I'm not.
What's my type in men? My degrees.
I ain't forgetting that food.
These are who I'm married to. Meet public administration. Meet psychology and professional writing, and meet criminal justice. Alrighty.
What color is your? What color is? What color are you in? Or do they have colors?
Look at the certificate right here. Drake is like, everyone better get this question right. What am I eating? It's banana chips. This is some female reproductive health questions. So, what is the medical term for the release of an egg from the ovary? It was requested by a supporter. Okay. Katz is like, yeah, I heard your mom, and I was like, I think Mia can do that. I really appreciate your words of encouragement, Katz. Katz is like, she feel like I could read a 500-page book or remember everything.
Yeah, you got, but then she'll turn into someone that needs a Snicker bar.
Really? Like I said, I can remember the gifs of it, right? You gotta, I'm good at summarizing and skimming sometimes.
Somebody said they're married to their brother BMW.
Honestly, Michelle, that's pretty cool. What type of BMW is it? Is it a convertible 4-seater, pink leather, white interior? I'll be married to that car too.
That's Mia's dream car. You've been talking about that car since you was like 7 years old.
Yup. And we will have it one day, guys, for sure. So we'll end the poll. Hey, GT8. How are you doing today, GT8? Welcome to Trivia Monday with Uniquely Mia. Let's end the poll in 5, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you, Hello Kitty. You subscribe when I was at the eye doctor. So, I don't know. I got like the MRI.
Not really.
I have another appointment for the eye doctor. When I go back, I'll let y'all know. But we're thinking everything's good because when I was making the follow-up appointment, the ophthalmologist was like, if it's an emergency, we'll call you in sooner rather than later. So I think it's good. I think it's good, but we don't know for sure yet.
You went to the dentist?
We did go to the dentist, and I have no cavities.
Guys, cleaning. Your 6 months. Remind them to
Get your cleaning every 6 months, and then I got some goodie bags. They gave me a tongue scraper. I always wanted to use one because I've been seeing them on social media, but I just didn't want to buy it. And then they gave me a toothbrush. They give like the cheapest toothbrush at the dentist, honestly. And then some toothpaste, which is good. You could always use a travel size mini baby thing of toothpaste. And then we also got some floss. So that's a fun good. Ooh, and they gave us a coupon. I didn't see that. We could get $1 off of gum. So the correct answer to this question is ovulation. So that is the release of the egg from the ovary. Does your mom like her eyebrows? Do you like your eyebrows now, Mom?
Thank you.
It grew on me. It grew on me.
Okay, let's do this one because this is the last one we'll do. It doesn't necessarily relate directly to reproductive health in females, but I do think it's an important one that we should all be made aware of for sure. So we're going to ask this one and then we'll move on, guys. What other topics would you guys like me to ask you trivia questions on? It could be anything, honestly.
Dude.
What? We asked some trivia question about Women's History Month. And then we moved on to some government / budget cycle. And this is reproductive health. What other ones do we want, guys? Let me know. Okay. So this question here, excuse me. Which amendment to the U.S. Constitution guarantees equal protection under the law? Do you think it's the First Amendment? Do you think it's the Fifth Amendment? Do you think it's the 14th Amendment? Or do you think it's the 19th Amendment of the United States? What are we thinking, guys?
You said it. No, you said it.
What are we thinking? Male reproductive system. Okay, we could do some questions about the male reproductive system. That's funny. All right. For fairness, Cats is like, King of the Weather, if you're out there, I hope you have a great day. How are you doing? You are definitely missed. All Uniquely Mia supporters are missed when they're not on the stream. Okay, let's ask the question. Okay. Okay. All right, let's end the poll in 5. You're a boy, you don't know. Everyone should know this one. This is if you are a U.S. citizen or if you plan on visiting the U.S., right? 3, 2, 1. More so relates if you're a U.S. citizen now. So y'all are correct. Who was correct? 49% of you guys. Remember the 14th Amendment. It grants you equal protection underneath the law. And remember, the 14th Amendment protects you under the law if you are a minority, if you are part of the LGBTQ community, if you are a female. So it's not just for African Americans, remember, right? It's for all people who are not a white, straight male in America. So yeah.
You should do questions about who was the king of France that the people attacked his castle and got rid of him and his family?
Oh, I don't know.
About those.
Oh, French Revolution. So my mom requested a question about the French Revolution. The First Amendment of the United States, I believe that one is, First Amendment of the United States, it guarantees the freedom of religion, speech, and press, as well as assembly in the U.S. of A. The Fifth Amendment protects against double jeopardy, self-incrimination. I spoke about this in a criminal justice video, right? Let's say you are in court and a criminal court, and you're like, I did not commit this crime. I am innocent. I am innocent. You can't do that. I mean, you could do it, but that would be disastrous for your case. You're unorderly in the Supreme Court or in the courtroom. So this Fifth Amendment protects you against self-incrimination, right? Your attorney could be like, my client was under extreme duress during this court. They did not know what they were doing. So the Fifth Amendment of the United States protects them, right? You can't hold this against them throughout the trial proceedings, right? So yeah, 14th Amendment, 19th Amendment, legally guarantees American women the right to vote. So that's women's suffrage, right? You got it right. Very nice, very nice. Shout out to you, Michelle. Awesome. You're in Glasgow. It's in Europe, right? What's the weather like today? Hello Kitty said, I love your eyelashes. I can't keep waiting for your eyelashes to grow longer. I don't know if they'll grow longer because I've never cut them before and they haven't grown longer as of yet. So, I don't know.
You stealing from me, Papo? You stealing from me?
I am not in geometry no more, Michelle. I can't help you.
Parentheses 4 over y parentheses.
So, yeah.
And obtuse angle is greater than 90 degrees, less than 180 degrees.
Okay. All right, let's see what questions we have. Okay, so male reproductive system was requested since we did females.
Yeah, you have to balance it.
These questions are funny. Okay, we'll do some.
A reproductive?
I don't know. That's why I'm looking at it. It's like, my mom's like, did males even have reproductive system? Okay. I found one. Let's see.
Who?
Why do I look like that? Why do your toes look like that? You saw my toes? What are these? These are toes. Isn't that, didn't she sing that one? But yeah, God took my time and created me. But no, that was a song, I feel like. Or that was a meme that was going around. I forgot who said it though. Okay. I can't even say some of these stuff. What in the world? Why do science people always create words that are just like pronounced funny? Okay, so the first question, which hormone is primarily responsible for male reproductive development? Is it estrogen? Is it, what is that? Is it prostogen? Prozone? Is it testosterone or is it insulin? You're beautiful. Thank you so much, Hello Kitty. You're beautiful as well. Kat said, how come that under duress thing doesn't apply for people who admitted crimes for a shorter sentence, but were later proven innocent through advancements in science? How come under duress thing? Because they were already in, it's my opinion, Cats, based on my understanding of me taking that class and my understanding of the Fifth Amendment. It doesn't apply to them because it only applies in court in front of a judge, right? So that, what you're describing is more so exoneration. That is like they have been convicted, they have served time in a correctional institution, and new evidence came out to show they are not guilty, so they are released. So that's more so exoneration. The Fifth Amendment is in present time in front of the judge because it would be in that instance there, right? Because remember, with the Fifth Amendment, prior to like that exoneration, new evidence emerging, this is the judge's first time seeing this individual. With all the evidence, the judge will think the person is guilty, right? So when they just stand up and do that, they think they're like, they don't know they're really innocent, right? They just think they're like doing it, so that's why. So it could still apply, but that's why you need a really good attorney, right? So all these things can apply. They have all these different laws. However, at the end of the day, right, if your attorney isn't known for the prestige, or they're just not good at their job, or they're not very convincing, it's not really going to be strong enough. But that's my opinion on that one, I think. It's my opinion.
Don't try to move as thing. You know what I mean? Even when
You're beautiful. Thank you so much, Hello Kitty. You're beautiful as well. Bye. Oh, thank you. All right, thanks.
Mia, you should do questions about the Constitution, the First Amendment.
Okay. Even though you're a male, you still don't know. What grade are you in? Did you go through bio class yet? If not, then you're learning some stuff early on. Oh, I keep saying bye to Stu's. I think that's his uncle. Yeah, his uncle. Oh yeah.
That's Stu uncle.
Yeah, his uncle. I keep saying bye to him.
Want to say hi. Yeah, Stu uncle.
Okay, glad my information was helpful. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it, Cats, based on my understanding. So yeah. God bless you as well, Hello Kitty. Welcome back, Cam. I'm glad you could be on the stream, Hello Kitty. Hopefully I see you in the next live stream or the comment section of my full nutritional YouTube video or YouTube shorts. For everyone who's on, welcome to Trivia Monday. We're now doing some male reproductive system questions. We'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, 43% of you guys are correct. It is testosterone. Yeah, it does also increase with aggression. I did learn about that, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me that one, Cats. Yeah. I guess it's like dopamine a little bit, but not, since it increases with aggression, because what dopamine makes you happy. That means aggression makes males happy. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's do another one. We did that one. Okay, let's do this one. I don't even know what half of these things are, like, okay, let's see.
That's what we're all learning together.
Yeah. No, the glands. It's like different reproductive glands. 1 second, I'll read your comments, guys. Okay, this is too long. I might have to. 1 minute, guys. It's cold. Close the door. Okay, so this question: what is the role of the prostate gland? Does it produce sperm, fluid? Wait, I had to wait. Produce fluid that nourishes and protects the sperm. Does it store urine or does it control hormones? I did have to break up the second one.
Stu, what's the role
Please
of the
play.
prostate glands?
Back that up to the beat. I don't want to get copyrighted.
Stu?
Michelle said way too correct.
What's
Nice,
the role of
nice.
the
Shout out to you,
prostate
Michelle. Awesome.
Clean something. It's a gland. What is cleaning?
Tony said, can you ask your mom when can I get some ginger from
Where?
where can I get some ginger from the chips? From the ones you eat? Huh? Ginger? Do you mean sour?
These are, tell me those are bananas.
These are banana
But
chips.
any ginger or anything like that, usually a Korean store.
Oh,
They sell a
oh.
lot of like Korean West Indian products.
Mhm.
You'll be able to find that. Food Depot, any Caribbean store.
Okay. Chat said fluid. Okay, okay. Hey, how are you doing, RS1? How are you doing today, God? You could be here. I don't want no more plantain chips.
Those are banana chips.
I mean banana chip. Love the emojis. Yeah, new at food, honestly, for real. That's a very healthy selection of food right there, Michelle, honestly. You got some avocado, some grapes, some watermelon. You got a lime in there. Ooh, some french fries. Some baguette, some bread.
Some kiwi.
Kiwi, lettuce.
Coconut.
Yeah, coconut. You got the cherries, the peaches. Is that a croissant? You got a croissant in there?
Strawberries.
Honestly, I look pretty good. You got ramen? You got 2 bowls of ramen. You like ramen. Hey, Evan.
Carrots.
How are you doing
carrots.
today? Glad you could be here. Got a green apple.
She only have one.
Ooh, you got a chili pepper.
She even got a croissant in there.
I saw that's funny, yeah. Broccoli. Got some good stuff in that selection, Michelle. Good stuff in there. Okay, so let's end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How are you doing today, Evan? Glad you could be on the stream. It's Trivia Monday today. So the correct answer is 20% of you guys. So the prostate gland produces fluid that nourishes and protects the sperm. Excuse me.
Wow.
So let's do one more, male reproductive.
Guys,
And we're done.
Cancer?
Yeah.
And it only protects the sperm?
Protects the sperm.
Okay, let's do one more question, and then we'll move on.
Male reproductive. That's what she's doing today. So everybody's learning something, female and men.
Ooh, you added some more chili peppers, some green peppers, Michelle. What are you cooking? Look like you cooking a dish. So last one, are sperm cells fully mature? Fully mature immediately after being produced in the testes. Testes? Do you think it's yes or no? What are you thinking?
It's a stew. Is it yes or no? Testicles, Mia.
It says testes.
It's testicles. It's
So why does it say TESTES?
Testicles. That's how you say it. Stu, what's the answer? Our sperm.
What's the question?
Mommy,
Read the
Mom, you
question.
do not know how to spell. You just
Read
spelled
the
that
question.
wrong on stream.
Read the
She spelled it
question.
wrong, bro. Are sperm cells fully mature immediately after being produced in the testes?
Yes.
Okay, Stu said yes. What else do we think? We only got 1 vote in. So we got 2 votes. We got 1 from Stu, 1 from a supporter on stream. Okay, Kat said yes. Okay. So we'll end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the correct answer is no. So no. It
Nope.
says
So wait, it's fully developed when it hit the egg?
sperm matures in the epidemins after production? I don't know.
It has to go to the egg.
I don't know.
It has to go to the egg.
No, that's when it fertilizes. When it gets to the egg, it fertilizes. Because remember, guys, sperm for males, it ages as they age. So it does become more mature. But eggs for females, it just depletes. Eggs don't age. It just decreases.
It's Stu. It's XY for male, right? Huh?
Yeah.
XY for male, right? So that means, okay, and it's XX for a female, right? So that means a female could reproduce herself, but a male cannot make himself. Because a male is the Y.
Hence why we get back to the discussion of the Bible saying,
Think
and
about
people
it.
want to say
A
that
male is XY.
males are better.
So a male,
Females are the closest
if
thing
you
to
just
God
carry
on
the
earth, we can
Y
say.
if you just carry the Y, you have to get an X. But a female is already XX. So she could multiply. Multiply. Double X, and it'll just be female. Amazon warriors.
Okay, so we're going to do some French Revolution questions requested by my mom. Kat said, I know that fluid question because, vasectomy, okay, cuts off live sperm, but fluid still comes out because there's other stuff in sperm than just sperm. Okay. Alrighty, let's do this one. So we did some male reproductive questions. We did female reproductive questions. We also did some questions about Women's History Month. We did some questions about the government. And now we're going into some French Revolution. So we're kind of jumping all over the place with this stream today. But hopefully we're learning something. Hey, Hello Kitty. So this question, in what year did the French Revolution begin? 1776? Do you think it is 1789, 1792, or 1804? Hello Kitty said, I was outside and I was riding my bike and something was on my head. I think it was a wasp. But did you get it off though? Wasps are creepy. They definitely look scary for sure, guys.
How was your day at work, Stu?
Not bad.
What you ate today?
That sandwich.
You ready for your dinner?
I just ate.
You ate a little bowl of food.
So,
You want me to pack lunch for you?
Okay, oh no, your mom got bitten by one. Is she okay? So we're gonna end the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the correct answer is 25% of you guys. 1789 is when the French Revolution began. So let's ask, which king started the French? Who was the king? Oh, I guess let's do either. Let's see if we have that question.
Exist between, say, airport operations and with respect to firefighting and aircraft landing. That is part of our investigation, and we'll be looking at that throughout this investigation.
We don't have why it began, but let's just do this one. Wasps just look evil. They're scary for sure. Yes, cats. They're scary. I've seen them before, and I'm like, any flying bug I don't like. I feel like ladybugs are kind of cute, but they're kind of tiny. So like, what if they like, I don't know, get on your arm and you can't get it off? But like wasp, you're right. They like, they look so skinny. Like they, you know what they look like? They look like skeleton bugs. Is the best way I can describe it, honestly.
Helicopters.
Yeah, helicopters. Yeah, what Stu said. Yeah. So this one is, was the French Revolution a completely democratic movement from start to finish? Do you think it's yes or no? Kat said, who's the other voice? Who is that other voice? Is that a white woman? Who's a white woman? Oh, the TV? Yeah. Yeah. Hello Kitty said, wait, I have a question. Do ladybugs like poison one bite? No, I don't think they have poison in them. Let me actually, let's see. No, they don't have poison.
Ladybugs landed on us.
Oh yeah, so that's true.
Why
Ladybugs,
always trying to connect negative word with a lady? Poison lady.
Oh yeah, that is true. And my mom mentions it.
Gotta fight for bugs' right.
You're all good, cats.
Listen, even with ants,
Uh-huh.
the queen is the leader in the ants' kingdom.
That's what I'm saying. It's Mother Earth. Females are the it's supposed to be a matriarchy. Humans are supposed to live by a
Wait,
matriarchy.
Mia, don't
So
the
yeah.
lioness go and hunt and get the food?
Exactly. Lions are the most powerful. Lioness are the yeah, the female.
The lioness.
So
Yeah,
if
but when they have a real problem, they look for the lion.
When they're
how you what?
Yeah, he is.
He
No, they
be
don't.
jumping in to
No,
Yeah.
He defends them.
If she goes out there and hunt,
No,
who's
he's
she
the
hunting?
strongest. He's the strongest.
But guys, the world, Earth, in humans,
It's more them than him.
we are supposed to be a matriarchy. We were a matriarchy at the beginning of time. If you look at the animal kingdom, it is a matriarchy in the animal kingdom. The queen of the bees, the queen of the ants, as my mom said,
Okay, that
the
should be
lioness,
next
right?
trivia question.
But I told you guys, the people who are physically stronger than us, than females, are males. And they use that strength and they turned it into a patriarchy. But the world is supposed to be a
So what
matriarchy.
you should do is
So,
do trivia question on facts.
That's my opinion. Look at nature.
No, exactly.
yeah.
I'm saying do trivia question, find facts about animal kingdom.
Yup.
Is it a patriarch or,
Yeah, what's the I read that one. Read that one. Lion men, lol. That's funny, cats. Hey Syria, how you doing? Hey Syria said hyenas are the only matriarchy in the animal kingdom. No, there's more, but yeah, that's interesting for sure. I guess they don't, but yeah, interesting for sure. But in my opinion, it like obviously ancient empires. If you look at how they traced royal lineage, even back in Cleopatra day and before Cleopatra, it was the females. The way you trace Cleopatra's ancestor is through the females. Jesus and Mary. If you chase Jesus' blood, if you really believe in the idea of Virgin Mary, right? It's a matriarchy, right? It's in Christianity. It's right in your face, but they don't want to accept it. Exactly. And I wish she actually no, she wasn't. That's just not biologically possible, right? But yeah.
You can go into a clinic today and become pregnant.
But in that era,
why do we, if it could happen today, why do we think that era was more advanced
I guess.
than us?
Yeah, that is true. So yeah, that is true. So yeah, even the Virgin Mary and Jesus. It's a matriarchy with Jesus' own blood in his own line, if you look at it, the story, right? But nobody want to identify that yet, right? Cat said, elephants, the most intelligent land animals, matriarchy. See, we have examples, hyenas, elephants, all these animals, right? Hey, how you doing? Godson bless. How's everything going to you, Syria? Hey, Muka, glad you could be here. How are you doing today? Welcome to Trivia Monday with Uniquely Mia. What did you say? Okay, read that. Oh, okay, you said the Akan tribe in West Africa are matriarchal. Yeah, so like some African like cultures, they still practice it because they're not influenced by Western culture. I think it's my opinion the patriarchy is a Western thing. It is a Western culture thing, right? Because if you like you said, if you look at ancient West African tribes, right? I'm sure if we do some more research and look at other tribes that are somewhat disconnected from Western culture, you will find some patriarchy there, but it's going to be some matriarchies there too, right? Cleopatra, the way you trace Cleopatra's lineage is not by the fathers, you trace it by her, right? So yeah, but modern day America.
But then Shaka Zulu shot the leader.
Mom, the leader's not necessarily a man, it's just how you trace the blood, but yeah.
Oh.
Because like a matriarchy, you can have a son in a matriarchal, right? But you are still tracing the blood in the succession line goes through the females. It does not go through the males. So you look at who was your mother and etc., right? That's how they traced it in ancient cultures. It wasn't by the father. Because the father, yeah, it's good, but like you get the name, right? You get the blood from the females, right? So yeah, I mean you get the blood from both, but that's how you create it. But yeah, you like Viola Davis? Yeah, like I loved the Woman King movie. That was a really great movie. You haven't seen it? Definitely watch it. Cats. Do you recommend? After I came out of that movie, I was like, we need to go to the gym for real. But no, it's a great movie for sure. Love the movie. I can only inherit from my mother's side. What do you mean? I mean, you inherit from both sides. You inherit from your dad's and your mother's, right? But when we say it's a matriarchy, it's just saying when you trace the blood, it generally traces it through the females, the line of succession in matriarchal cultures, right? It's not a point. It's saying, okay, males are seen as dominant and powerful. Yeah, males are physically stronger. However, females are at the top of that societal structure, right? So I hope it changes in the future. Will it change in the next 100 years? Perhaps, perhaps not. Once we transition into a matriarchy, we probably won't be alive anymore.
Barbie movie.
Yeah, in a Barbie movie, but like while we're still alive, it's probably not going to transition into a matriarchy. We can do little things to transition it into a matriarchy, right? In while your lifetime. However, males have had their chances of patriarchy. In the future, for sure, let it be a matriarchy, in my opinion, right? It's not to say like it's not bad, right? It's not to say be gone all the males if you have a matriarchy, right? It's just saying let some of the favoritism go towards females, right? Because for more than 100 years, favoritism has been on the area of males, right? So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, it's a great movie though. Definitely check it out. Check it out.
It's a great movie. Woman King. Great movie to look at.
Oh, okay, Godson Bless. That's very interesting. So Godson Bless said in their culture they can only inherit from your mother's side. And my mother's aunt is our village chief. That's really cool, Godson Bless. Okay, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's very interesting, yeah. And that's pretty cool too, right? Because remember, back in the day, you could only sons could inherit, and you could only inherit from the father's side, right? So that's a really cool concept that you can only inherit from the mother's side in that one right there. Sierra said we had Amazonian for a while. Yeah, we had it, Sierra. We did have it, and then males overthrew it, and now look what the world is like, right? So, yeah, we've had it. It's just like different timelines, right? So I'm not going to advocate for a patriarchy. I'm a female, and I'm biased to females, right? Same way I'm biased to minorities because I'm a minority. I'm biased to females, right? So I will never advocate for a patriarchy. I can say that right now, right? I will advocate for equal opportunity for males and female for sure, right? But, yeah. I grew up in a patriarchy. I study patriarchies a little bit. We see what patriarchies have done and contributed to society. It's really that positive. Maybe let's try matriarchy again. So yeah. Kat said, I think it should be whatever works for your family. Yeah, and that's a good one too, right? As Kat said, whatever works for your family, let's do it for sure, right? So yeah. I know I will be a matriarchy. That's what happens. Like if I ever have a kid, or even if I don't have a kid, I'm a matriarchy, so I know that for sure, right? So yeah, I'm never changing my name, keeping my last name, right? Even though it is a patriarchal last name, it is my name, or I'll just like do who was his name? The X guy, Malcolm X, and I'll just create my own name. How about that? Start my own new matriarchy, right? So yeah. Exactly, make my last name uniquely Mia, right? Because you see the name on the degrees, it's my name. It'll only ever be my name on it, and that's basically it.
Unknown, and he didn't know his ancestors, so your degree is your foundation for your future. So just call.
Exactly. And shout out to you guys as the supporters, because your subscription, we are creating our own matriarchy on the Uniquely Mia channel, right? We have supporters, we have guest stars like Stu and G and J. They're males, but it ain't a patriarchy. It's a matriarchy, right? So shout out to you guys for giving me the power to do that, right? So we really do appreciate you guys, and I do appreciate your subscription to the channel because it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool, guys, so thank you so much for your support. But I'm not your queen, Kat. I'm not the queen. But we are starting our own matriarchy for sure. So anybody that you meet in public, if you guys ever wind up having a discussion about a matriarchy, right? Or if you meet somebody who is just because there are some people you will meet, and for some random reason, they love to assert their male dominance, right? You know what manspreading is? They love doing that for some reason. I remember you'll be somewhere and they'll like sit down and they'll stretch out their legs and take them all the space. I was on a plane one time, and I get and I was assigned a seat, right? A random seat. And I had to sit next to a male. Why in the world were you manspreading on the plane and you were literally taking up the whole area? That was so annoying. So annoying, right? So if you ever meet somebody and they want to adhere to the extreme patriarchy of things, you could be like, well, actually, I'm part of a patriarchy. I mean, I'm actually part of a matriarchy, and with Uniquely Mia, the Uniquely Mia community, and she advocates for us to be our positive and unique self, right? So as you can see, your patriarchy, you asserting your male dominance and trying to make me feel uncomfortable. Is it a sign of weakness? Do you feel threatened by my female presence? Say something like that, right? They will not like it, right? So yeah, I remember one time I was on a bus in New York, right? And the bus was so extremely crowded, guys. It had so much people, was so congested in the bus, right? But like I wanted to sit down. So what happened was somebody got it from the seat, and there was a two-seater area on the MTA bus, right? So there was this older guy, and he was like, I was looking at him, he was looking at me because I wanted to sit at the end, right? And I was there first. So when the person got up, I told him, you can go in, right? Because he looked like he wanted to sit. And he was like, no, ladies first. And I was like, no, you go. When I said that, he was like, wait, what? He looked at me, right? Because he said ladies first. And when he said lady first, he thought I would automatically go and sit down. I'm like, no, in my head, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, right? So you know what I did? He didn't sit down, and I sat where I wanted to sit at the end. And while I'm sitting down, he's looking at me like he still wants to sit down. Exactly. He's the one who went in and he stood up instead of sitting down. He refused to sit because I was like, in my head, I'm here first.
He just wanted the NC.
Yeah, he wanted the NC, but I wanted the NC too because the bus was congested. I don't want to go in and sit in the center. It was so funny to me because at the minute he said ladies first, and I was like, you go. You could see in his facial expressions and his body expression, like that was the first time he heard that. Like he was surprised that I didn't automatically adhere into my submissive role of being grateful because you said ladies first, right? So there's little ways you can challenge the patriarchy, I've noticed, which is really funny to do. But that was the only time that's ever happened. And then after, it didn't happen again. So that was pretty cool.
Because I was wondering why he was standing
No, it was
there.
funny. It was funny.
So he refused to
Yes, he refused to sit. And I knew he wanted to sit down.
You told him to sit.
Yup, I knew he wanted to sit down.
That was funny.
Godson Bless said, our system is a traditional matriarchal system that acknowledges that men can be deadbeats and that children were historically closer to their mothers. Yeah, it's a societal thing, I guess. I don't know. I guess females, I don't know. I don't know. Even in modern society, sometimes 9 times out of 10, females will be the individuals to care for the kids when males don't want to care for the kids, right? I guess I don't know why they do that. In my opinion, it's just that you are developing that embryo that's going to turn into a baby in your stomach, so you just feel more connected to it, right? So I guess that's why even in those ancient cultures, that is more often to happen, right? Like, so yeah, but yeah, it's interesting.
Well,
Uh-huh.
babies, the mom carried the milk in the boobs.
Yeah, so that's
Babies
true.
tend to cling to that because they want the
Exactly, yeah.
milk.
Yep.
Who carried the food?
Yup.
If they carried the food, they would cling to that.
Exactly. Hey, Uncle Ed, glad you could be here. Really appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Sirius said Stu and G, I got y'all's back. Forgiveness said.
You got supporters soon.
You don't approve of this matriarchal thing? Well, I don't approve in the patriarchy thing, and I gotta live in it. So, yeah. Welcome to the Uniquely Mia matriarchy, where I encourage all individuals, but if you're male, if you're female, to be your positive and unique self, but at the same time, do encourage females to go and succeed and excel at anything and everything that you want to do, because for too long, guys, society has said females are less than men, that they are unworthy of entering the same spaces or opportunities as men, right? So if you can achieve what males have and even more, go ahead and do it, right? So yeah. Yep. So yeah, welcome, guys. Glad you guys can be here and on the Uniquely Mia channel. As always, y'all are welcome for your positivity and uniqueness. I got fashion videos, education videos, nail videos, hair videos, travel videos, eat with me's, live streams, and a lot more, right? Kat said, my grandma was the most unbothered person I ever met. Very nice. I feel like we all need to be a little bit more bothered, right? Because it's really cool. So yeah. Slowly but surely we'll get there, honestly. Slowly but surely. Syria said, we can't even sit on the plane, Cats. No, but it's like sitting on the plane. If you saw how that person was sitting on the plane, it was really annoying because like it was a 2-seater plane, right? And it was a 2-seater plane. And it was in the back of the plane too. So, the seats are smaller and the armrest was up. And that person, I don't know if they were just too big to sit in their own seat at that point, buy 2 seats, right? But they were all up in my area when I was sitting down on the plane. I literally had to text my mom. I was like, this person is sitting next to me and they're all in my area. They're in my whole area. I had to sit down when I was sitting on the plane, I had to like scoot so I wouldn't touch the individual. I don't know you. Why am I going to touch you with my arm, right? And like I couldn't even move because like because the plane wasn't filled, but like all the seats around me was practically filled, right? And when the plane's in the sky, am I gonna ask the flight attendant to move when the plane's in the sky? My personal item is already up, like in the overhead bin space. No, I have to go back and get it after, right? So it's more so a situation that like it's annoying when they do that when you're on the plane, right? Because I've sat in the middle row of seats, right? Sometimes with males on both ends, and they're on their own area. Like they know how to keep their arms to themselves, they know how to keep their legs to themselves. But that one time when it was a two-seater seat, that was ridiculous. The person was literally just leaning, their arm was all in my area, they didn't pull down the centerpiece. It was so bad, so bad. So yeah, you can sit on the plane, but you still got to be respectful. And if you're gonna take up more than one seat, get two seats. So yeah, GT8 said, "Wow, cool." Hey Mila, how are you doing today? Hey RS1, glad you could be here. Glad you could be here. But I would love to know, what did you guys do today? What did you eat today? We can do a little bit more trivia questions and then maybe turn to chat session, and maybe that's it for the stream. So let me get some more trivia questions for you guys. Let's find another one. This is the French Revolution one. Excuse me. Okay. Let's do this one. 1 second, guys.
I haven't talked to Walter since I was a kid, and whatever you're looking for, you wouldn't send it to me, okay? So just, I can't go near what you mean. Fucking weirdos. Hey, move easy, it's short. Whoa. Short fight.
1 minute, guys. I'm trying to get this trivia question written for y'all. It's too long. Let's get a. What are you guys saying? 1 minute, guys. Kat said, "The more I think about it, it could also be socialization because I wasn't allowed to wear pants when I was a kid, so I could never have my legs open. I still cross my legs to this day." Yeah, that's true too, but I feel like it's also how you raise kids too, right? And I feel like the way parents raise kids unknowingly, they also adhere to like, what is it, gender stereotypes. So you're right, Kat, it is socialization. So I use myself for example. I feel like I don't think I man spread. If I do, it's like, I guess I'm tired, so that's why I do it, right? But like I feel like if I am sitting outside and my legs are wide open, my mom is gonna be like, "Why are you sitting like that? Close your legs," right? For a boy, if a boy is doing that and their parents see that, they're not gonna say nothing to them, right? So it's subtle things. My nephew sits like that, right? I see my nephew man spread a few times, and like nobody says anything to him when he does it, right? Sometimes I'll be sitting next to him, like, "Close your legs," right? What, like you're taking up all the space, right? But 9 times out of 10, nobody really says anything to him. So I think it's how you raise kids. Like my mom, she used to love to say the notion in front of me, "Boys will be boys." I had to tell her to stop that, because boys will be boys until, double standard for girls, and boys will be boys. Let a boy be aggressive enough and go be aggressive to a person, then you're minority too. You're incarcerated, right? So boys will be boys. These notions, it really needs to stop. So I think it's how they raise people, and it relates to socialization too a little bit, as Kat said too. Sirius said, "Listen to the song Mia, How Are You by Adrian McGrone." Okay. I'll check it out. Syria, take a screenshot. Alrighty. Forgiveness said, "You're right about the uneducated way of sitting for some individuals." I don't think it's uneducation. I think it's just a lack of awareness and or respect for other individuals around you, right? So yeah, it's like etiquette. Plane etiquette is a big thing. We hear about that a lot on social media. Sometimes people go on the plane and they'll recline their seat. Like the people make videos saying, "Why do you recline your seat on the plane? That's just very rude and inconsiderate to other passengers." My mom reclines her seat on a plane because you know what? They put that capability in, and she paid to do that, and her back hurts, so she's gonna recline her seat, right? If you don't like it, recline your seat as well, or kindly ask the individual in front of you not to recline your seat, right? So I think it's just about various just etiquette with things. I feel like a big one that has emerged when it relates to plane etiquette is people, they will like walk up to other people and they're like, "Hey, can you switch seats with me?" "Oh yeah, sure. I'm sitting in an aisle seat and I want you to take my middle seat." No, right? I'm not doing that. So yeah, I think it just relates to like things like that for sure. Kat said they make overweight people get 2 seats. Yeah, and I'm not. And that person is like, when I was like, they weren't overweight, but you know when somebody's just broad or wide, you were taking up more than 2 seats, right? So yeah, and it's not to make them feel bad. It's just generally something you got to do. I remember one time I was on a plane. I was coming back from school. Like I was coming to New York from school, and it was a Southwest flight I was flying on. And the Southwest, prior to us getting on the plane, the Southwest gate agent was like, this plane is a full flight. And you know, sometimes when they say that, they lie, but that time it was literally a full flight. And at that point in time, guys, Southwest, like, it was open seating, right? So I went on the plane last. For some reason, I was like the last person to get on the plane, right? That day. Guys, when I tell you I could not find my seat, literally, I walked all the way to the back of the plane. I walked to the front, no open seat. And the flight attendant had to look at my ticket and was like, yeah, there's a seat for you. Do you know right in front there was literally 2 overweight people hiding the middle seat? Hiding the middle seat. I had to squeeze between them.
They were hiding in the middle.
Yes, because they needed 2 seats each.
Oh my goodness.
But they didn't want to pay for an extra seat.
Oh my goodness. She said they were hiding.
That was terrible. It was terrible. It was the worst flight ever. Worst, and I'm not being mean, but they genuinely were taking both seats. They needed it, but they didn't want to pay extra for it. So yeah. I look gorgeous. Thank you so much. You're gorgeous as well, Mila. Thank you so much. I'm funny. I'm not trying to be funny, but